the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. 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 Run the tape.
The tape.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach and the bench deep. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape. The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro.
Shut up and grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday evening. We got an absolutely loaded show for you guys tonight. It is the Monday following Super Bowl Sunday. I don't watch a lot of that Sunday football, but I've got some observations from last night's football game, as do the boys. So we got that tonight. We're going to talk through the biggest coordinating changes in all of college football. A lot of football programs with new faces with regards to their play callers. We're going to talk through those tonight. Give you kind of a rundown on who these people are. If you're new to these people, if they're new to your favorite football team, we hope to be giving you a little bit of education on that front. Kirk Herbstreit wants things separated. We got to take them apart. We got to pull them apart. We're going to talk about it tonight. We've also got off-season editions. Those people have been liking that. Those little pockets of fan bases we've been hitting this February, it's been turning out relatively good for us. We got another one tonight. Tennessee. We're going to talk those guys. 21 transfer editions over there for Tennessee. Don't know if y'all know that. 2 of them special teamers, long snapper, and a kicker. So 19 transfer additions over there at Tennessee, a program that normally had been building it out of high school. So we'll talk about that tonight, but it was the Super Bowl yesterday. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. 93.7 thousand subscribers here on the network right about now. We're still on that search for the sickos as that continues. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Super Bowl was yesterday. Third full game of NFL football I've watched this year. Caught 2 during Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Caught these 2 or this one. So there's that. We don't watch a lot of NFL football in my house. Normally on Sundays, I'm grinding through all 22 on college football. Not a flex. I would watch it. I just don't. I do get kind of football burnout, not to be honest.
Understandable,
Not to lie to you guys. My first thought watching that game last night was that's the best of the best. That is the world's best. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a single answer for a nickel pressure all night. It was a little wild to watch. I mean, they gave up 7 sacks. I think after the first 3, I wrote it on my notes. After the first 3 sacks, we are at least going to start chipping. I felt like they took forever to do that. Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to start rolling quarterbacks. We're definitely going to start doing some things to alleviate some of this pass rush. Nope, not at all. The other thing no hots at all. Like, no hots built in. Like, they were finally building offensive momentum, were the Patriots, midway through. I think about the third, maybe early fourth quarter. And then 1st and 10, strip sack fumble. Another nickel pressure gets home on us. More importantly, even if the quarterback wanted to play hot, no opportunities to do so. We watch a lot of college football. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of watching Texas midway through the year, where it's like, hey, dude, I know we're trying to hunt an explosive, but we can do that with 3 of the options. The 4th option needs to be somewhere in the quarterback's face within 5 yards in case they, I don't know, blitz the shit out of us, which is what they were doing all night last night. And never once did I feel like New England figured it out or added anything. Now, you told me before the show that's just kind of who they are.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how they've been the entire season. I remember early on in the year, like midway through the season, there was a discussion being had about Travion Henderson and his usage out there with New England, and a big issue with him was in pass protection. Wasn't very good at it, couldn't get that down, but their offensive line has been pretty abhorrent the entire season, so they just kind of adapted to being an offense that knew that was going to be the case. After
sack 3, we never run a play without an option within 5 yards of the quarterback's face. That's a new rule. New rule around here. I did not feel like they subscribed to said theories or rules. Observation number 2, I always loved Derek Hall out of Auburn. Yeah. Not to be like a, hey, look at me guy, but anybody who watched SEC football knew that number 29 from Auburn, though he was only about 6'2.5", he was going to be a dog in the NFL. He was a dog for 4 straight years, I felt like, at Auburn. I don't know how you guys experienced the Derek Hall, career at Auburn, but every time I watched him, I was like, damn, that dude's a great rusher.
Yeah, he was really good during his time at Auburn.
And if you ever saw him in person, you'd be like, not the biggest dude, but man, play was the elite bend, got really, really long arms as well. He had a great game last night. Number 3, just a random equation for a football player. An equation and evaluation all wrapped up in one. You ready?
All right.
Patience with burst plus contact balance plus a compact strike zone plus vision equals Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, certainly the way he played on Sunday and kind of throughout this postseason when Zach Charbonnet got injured, he's definitely made a name for himself and, frankly, earned another contract.
Can't really see him until he's past you. Yeah, it's the other thing about him. Like they talked a lot about Le'Veon Bell last night because that's Chris Collinsworth. I mean, I thought he was in his prime during the Le'Veon Bell days, honestly, as a play call or a play-by-play guy. But was talking a lot about Le'Veon Bell last night. Similar run styles. The difference is, dude, Lev Bell's like 6'3", 230 pounds. This dude is impossible to see. So he's back there kind of like figuring it out, and then bam, with an elite explosiveness running right past your face. So a real fun back to watch, no doubt. Chat saying we're a little quiet tonight. Let's tune that up a little bit if we can over there, Jonathan. I don't know what we got in terms of options. Number 4, this relayed back into.
Is that about chat or is that
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about chat. Anyways, yeah, maybe he's talking about chat. I'm always self-conscious about our audio. You know how it is around here. I felt like everyone talked about Indiana's offense during their national championship run. Rightfully so. They had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Great wide receivers. Running backs ran really, really hard. Offensive line, really, really high executing unit. But I felt like that was a defensive championship at Indiana with the Hoosiers this year. Guys, they did not allow more than 24 points all year. I felt like that Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl champion football team is a defensive-led champion.
1,000%.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I believe they were talking to Kyle Shanahan leading up to the Super Bowl, and they were asking him, like, how do you, an offensive genius, go about explaining what is so hard to play the Seahawks defense? And he was like, well, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I haven't scored a touchdown against these guys over the last 2 games. Like, really, Matthew Stafford and the Rams were, like, the only offense to figure it out and put up points at a premium against his defense.
And he was just doing it with big rips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just big-time rips.
Big time.
Literally, that's what he was doing. But, no, I mean, yeah, this was absolutely a defensive champion here. And that's not any disrespect to what Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker did, or anyone else. Like, Jackson Smith and Jigba was one of the best receivers, was the best receiver in the league this year. But the bread and butter of that team was the defense, and that won them the championship.
It's just so interesting, especially, like, I know they're 2 different sports, but we cover a sport that now, like, a lot of places spending a lot of money on quarterbacks.
Yep.
A lot of places spending a lot of money on quarterbacks. And those two NFL football teams that played for a Super Bowl last night don't have a lot of money at the quarterback position.
Not yet.
Not yet. And that's normally how it happens with him. But, like, the Sam Darnold thing's 4 times over, and, like, we finally found maybe 5 times over. How many different spots has he been
It
at?
was with Carolina. It was with Minnesota.
I mean, it's been a lot with the
Seattle.
Jets.
San Francisco.
San
Yeah, I think this is 5
It's
for him.
stop number 5, and it finally worked out. And I think it says a lot. We know this about football to be true. Year over year, decade over decade, no matter how much the offense has changed, defense has changed, the quarterback needs help. Quarterback needs a lot of help.
Even when, like, the 49ers were getting, like, multiple cracks at winning a Super Bowl, it was Brock Purdy barely making any money on his salary, and then they finally had to pay him. But, I mean, yeah, there's validity to that point for sure.
Observation number 5 for me, the Mac Hollins outfit was absurd.
Always is.
Yeah.
Don't even know what
he's
we're
been
going
doing
for
that
there.
for a while.
Were we going Hannibal Lecter? What were we doing?
It's
I
just
think
Mac
so.
Hollins.
I think
Were
that
but we were also carrying in our own football coach's high school jersey. Weird. Very
Yeah.
weird.
I think Mac
Don't know what we were doing.
Collins has kind of like made a niche like
Yeah,
for
and
doing stuff like that.
my thing is, like, it would be like niche-y if you were good, but you're Mac Hollins, so it's just like really cringe, I think.
Well, I think it's kind of also a bit that's been overplayed way too many times.
Okay.
Like him going barefoot in the snow or like showing up to the stadium barefoot. It's like, okay, this is
I like-
just a weird guy.
I like this comment from chat. Hollins eats soup with a knife.
yeah, like he's
That-
just that
that
type
checks
of
out.
Yeah, just
Seems like that kind of guy.
does stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it was weird, but it wasn't any more weird than any of the ones
Observation number 6, and this may be me because I'm addicted to my phone, as you pointed out pre-show. The idea of spending a ridiculous amount of money on a Super Bowl commercial in a day and age where everyone is addicted to doom scrolling during commercials seems a little bit counterintuitive to me. Also, if you actually produce a very good commercial, like Budweiser did, it's normally going viral a week or so prior to the Super Bowl anyways.
Yeah.
So why not just spend a decent amount of money on making a good commercial and making it go viral, and maybe just buy like a million, Chinese bots on Twitter to make your video viral instead of spending an assload of money on Super Bowl commercials that, unless you're like one of the two like trendy ones anyways, no one cares. I think the day, like the day and age of the Dorito, keep your hands off my mama, keep my hands off my Doritos.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're getting them.
No.
I don't know if that's happening anymore.
No, definitely not.
I mean, they're definitely not as much of a spectacle as they were like 15 years ago and 20 years ago when the Super Bowl commercials were kind of the only media you could have when the game stopped, the action stopped. But you are right. Like there is a lot of other ways to go about this year. I still think they are pretty big.
Like anytime you bring back an early aughts banger as the background of a text only commercial, I'm at least gonna pop up because I know the song. Backstreet Boys got me multiple times last night.
Right.
Granted, one of them was a crypto commercial, so as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I don't do the funny money. Pay me the real stuff.
Now, one of my friends asked me this during the Super Bowl, and I thought this was pretty funny. Of like, when or if do you think the Backstreet Boys ever thought that their career got to the point of, hey, maybe we need to go do a T-Mobile commercial? Like maybe like we
See,
how
I
do
didn't
we
even
get back
see-
into relevancy.
I didn't even notice. Did they break out the Puppet Master in the T-Mobile commercial? Is that what they did this year?
No, they were just
They're just regular
just-
dudes. And
yeah.
doing a concert,
dang.
but they're
Like,
wearing pink.
You ever
instead of
think
white.
that they thought that's what they would be eventually?
I mean, probably not.
Right. Like
Probably
it's just
not.
one of those funny things
Yeah.
of like, yeah, great commercial makes you like it perks your ears up certainly, and you pay attention to what's going on. But
I
it's-
thought it was pretty interesting that Danny McBride was in a commercial with the Key and Peele guy. Is that Jordan Key or is that the Peele?
That's
Which
Keegan
one
Michael.
was it? Key or Peele?
That's Keegan Michael Key.
Okay, so Keegan Michael Key doesn't have the Get Out money, right?
No.
That's Jordan Peele's got the producer money.
Correct.
So that's probably why we're doing Super Bowl commercials.
I don't know. I mean, maybe just
It was just a weird combo to me to see Danny McBride, and Keegan Michael Key or buddy.
Good Lord. I think it was just, hey,
Never.
let's get two comedians to do this role of two insurance salesmen that aren't good at their jobs. So I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Did you guys have any observations? I dumped my clip right there.
I had 2 observations.
Those?
Yeah, just 2 of them. Yeah, we had some overlap.
See, hey, look, I'm efforting. I'm efforting to become bilingual. Shout out to the homie Bad Bunny. Gracias.
Offensive line issues tend to be really overexposed in Super Bowl matchups. And I would say, especially from recent memory of some of the matchups that we've seen over the years, from the ones that I could really recall off the top of my head, the Patriots this past year were exactly that. The Chiefs last year, they got overexposed, I would say, with their offensive line issues. The Philadelphia Eagles, which they just had a great defensive line, but boy, they got after Patrick Mahomes the entire game. The Cincinnati Bengals in 2022, the LA Rams, just ate Joe Burrow and that offensive line's lunch. And then also the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 50. Now, Cam Newton obviously was able to create a lot outside of the pocket and do a lot despite with what he had up front, but they were still top 10 in the league for sacks allowed. So they and Von Miller and that Denver Broncos defense, just tore them apart for 4 quarters.
Quarterback and offense is great, but most of the championships won recently have been defensive domination, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Kansas City Chiefs, everybody wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes and the offensive weapons they had and Tyreek Hill and all that, but Spagnuolo and that defense, uber creative and always created chaos in those Super Bowl matchups. And even Tom Brady when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they had some dudes on that defense.
They were
it was
getting
a
after
huge
Mahomes,
defensive
too.
effort. Yes, they were. Then my second one, and this is going to sound like a very 20-ish-year-old thing to say, but this is the best way I could put it. I think that the Super Bowl, plain and simple, has just lost some of its aura, in my opinion. Now, I still sit down every Sunday, every single year, and I watch it. I watch every single snap. I do it happily because I know it's the last bit of football that I'm going to be taking in for the next 5 months. But I don't know. There's just small things about the Super Bowl that I tend to miss that I think is kind of lacking. This might sound stupid, but to me, I always enjoyed this of the winning quarterback. As soon as the game was over, you get to hear him shout, "I'm going to Disney." To me, that was a huge thing. That was a cool thing of the winning quarterback, and they still do it. I looked it up. There's a video of Sam Darnold doing this, and he was in the teacups with Kenneth Walker today at Disney. So it still happens, but I feel like that was a huge thing. I can remember Peyton Manning the year that he won it. It was a huge deal that he said, "I'm going to Disney." The commercials, you hit it on the head. They're still a big deal, but they were can't miss. They used to be can't miss. You put on actual theatrical productions for commercials, and nowadays it's let's put together 2 minutes of AI.
The whole eventness of it. It feeling like an event and not a football game to me is a little bit weird.
I think it's
and I know that's the whole point. I know it's the biggest football event of the year, and I get it, but it's a football game. Can we play football?
The Pepsi commercial this year. If that hadn't been leaked out on social media a week before, that would have been the greatest thing that was put on during the Super Bowl commercials. The fact that a competing company would take the other company's mascot and turn it into their own commercial and their own play for their own company. That would have been huge, but it got leaked on social media a week ago, and I'd already seen it 10 times. So I knew it was coming. I don't know. There's just small things of I feel like the production of the Super Bowl isn't as anticipated by me, at least now.
I think a lot of, you hit it on the head. I think a lot of this of the fact that it used to be so can't miss is because it was can't rewatch for a while.
Oh, that's
you can think of any ad you want. Hey, the Instacart ad was really funny, and in 5 seconds I'll be watching it on YouTube. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before these things hit YouTube, the second they were posted, you had to wait to see them again, or tell your friends, man, that Doritos commercial was so funny before you could even see it. You have to explain it to them, and finally they have a chance to watch. Stuff like that. I rewatched, the 30-minute highlights of it to this morning. Of just you can do that now. Beforehand, it had to be you got to wait for it to air it again, or catch the really short highlight.
You got to catch 7 a.m. Sports Center the next morning.
Don't get me started on Terry Tate, office linebacker.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to catch it live.
Stuff like that. You can access everything too easily now. You can rewatch the entire halftime show if you want, whereas you almost never got to that. It was almost like being at a live concert because once it happened and ended, it was gone for the most part. It wasn't on YouTube available. So I think that's part of the reason why it's lost the excitement of it. It's because the exclusivity of the Super Bowl isn't there as much. So you are right with that take.
That's it for me.
All right, so The first takeaway I had is you're never going to win a football game if you don't take what the other team gives you. There were a handful of opportunities. Yes, Seattle was all over the Patriots all night. Like, they were supposed to win that game. New England could have made things a lot more interesting if they hit their layups. Drake May had a bunch of missed throws in this game, and not just like, tight window, couldn't make the fit. Some very wide open and wide receivers that could have extended drives, got things to go, and just was not able to do it. So if you're not going to make your layups, you're almost never going to win. Number 2 for me is stats can lie. If you look at the box score of this game, you'd have thought, pretty close. Like, the Patriots had 18 first downs to 20. Like, didn't get blown out of the water there. The turnover battle is what got them. They were more efficient on third down. They had about just as many plays. They had only 4 less total yards. Like, this on paper looked like a fairly close game. Unless you watched it, then it was very obviously the Seahawks dominating the entire game and some stat padding taking place in the fourth quarter. The third takeaway I have is, and this is a casual take a little bit, but it's true, shootouts are almost always more exciting than defensive stalemates. The fact that you had 3 quarters of football and the first touchdown wasn't scored till the fourth quarter, that's not exciting. And I know that defense is absolutely one of the more important aspects of football, and that when 2 defenses go at it is great, but we would all much rather see a 60-point game than, it's 12-3 right now.
Where do the sack yardages go in NFL football?
I think it's passing yards.
No, they don't subtract passing yards when you get sacked.
What?
Because
I don't know.
Here's why I asked this. Because box score wise, I bet it looks relatively similar. But that dude got sacked 7 times. And I bet we lost 65 yards of field position on them 7 sacks.
In the NFL, sack yards are deducted from the team's total passing yardage.
Huh.
Really?
Yes. So not total, but team.
Oh, so okay. So it'll say he threw for $188, but as a team they threw for 164?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
I had no idea that was a thing.
You could tell I don't watch Sunday ball.
I do, and I didn't know that.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's better for the quarterback because, like, sometimes sacks aren't your fault and you don't lose but the team does get a negative for it. My other takeaway and the final one that I have is the playoff format needs to be fixed. I mean, this is the second year in a row where we've had the biggest spectacle, the biggest game, and it's been a blowout. This is unacceptable. There's no denying that the Los Angeles Rams would have put up a better fight against the Seattle Seahawks had they had the opportunity to go through the schedule that the Patriots went through. So we have to fix the playoff format in the NFL because it's very clearly not giving us the best games all the time.
I mean, could you imagine how much better and even more healthy a 37-year-old Matt Stafford would be if you let him play Drake May's schedule this year?
Exactly. It's not fair.
This guy's got a great point here.
That's what I'm saying. So, we got to figure out a way to fix the NFL playoffs because the system's broken. It needs fixing.
I have one more takeaway. Really, it's really not just a Super Bowl because this started becoming a thing before the Super Bowl, but obviously was all over the internet after the Super Bowl as well. This new trend where when a quarterback throws a horrible interception and it's labeled as a sandwich, a type of sandwich, is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, Drake May with 7 minutes left in the Super Bowl threw a meatball marinara over the middle of the field to lose again.
My guy chunked up a shrimp po' boy over the middle.
That cracks me up, man. It's one of the best things I've seen on the internet in a while. I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, that's funny. There were some other comparisons that poor Will Campbell was getting that. I'm not going to repeat on
the
there.
infamous clip of him saying, like, you either going to work at Amazon or if you give up 10 sacks a game as an offensive lineman, you can work at Amazon. And
a sack a game.
Yeah, if you just give up 1 sack a game, you're going to be working at Amazon. And then there's pictures of him in an Amazon uniform.
Arm length doesn't matter until it does.
Couldn't even wipe his own tears. His arms are so short.
Damn, dog. That's crazy.
That's what one of them was.
I know. What's up with the meme of the troll? You seen this lately? Where it's like a troll and they put like the outfit on. Twitter's going crazy lately. But no, what I was saying about the arm length is it does matter until you're smacked in the chest plate every single rep, which is what he has a problem with. You just gotta get the hands off, big dog. Anyways, any more Super Bowl observations?
That was all I had.
That's the longest we'll ever talk NFL football right there.
Yeah, it was.
My bad.
Never
20
say never.
minutes. Never say never. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're doing it. Hey, boys, a lot of football programs going through a lot of change Obviously, with the roster, everybody turning over a bunch of players, leaving a bunch of players, getting added, transfer portal, high school players coming in, making additions to rosters. But a lot of football teams going through a lot of coordinating changes, a lot of head coaching changes, a lot of play callers being different from a year ago, and a lot of blue bloods like Ole Miss. That's right, blue blood Ole Miss.
Blue blood, huh?
Blue blood Ole Miss. They wear blue.
All right. Well,
And that fan base will die for them. They'll put their blood on the line. They wear blue, and they'll die for it.
By a technicality, I suppose you're right.
Got a very interesting thing going on with the coaching structure at Ole Miss. Obviously, Lane left. Charlie Weiss Jr. left. Running back coach Kevin Smith left. Quarterbacks coach Dane Stevens left. Like, whole lot. Joe Cox, tight ends coach, left. Right? A lot of football coaches going down to Baton Rouge with Lane Kiffin. Not Joe Judge, though. Joe Judge staying at Ole Miss and is now, have you ever heard of this? The head coach of the offense.
I've never heard of that before.
Is that basically mean that Pete Golding is going to only deal with the defense?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, you're captain of the ship over there, and the general of that ship is my man, John David Baker from ECU. Which, by the way, ECU put it up last year offensively.
Yeah, they did.
Considering who Golding has worked with, though, at Ole Miss, like Lane Kiffin, I'm sure, was like, hey, the offense is mine. Charlie Weiss, this is ours. You ain't got it, which obviously is a defensive coordinator. So he probably didn't spend a whole lot of time offensively anyways at Ole Miss. So kind of makes sense why he would maybe create this type of role for him as a head coach.
Pete Golden, obviously the head coach, but they hired a defensive coordinator, Patrick Toney. Spent the last 3 or 4 years in the NFL. Young football coach. Should be interesting. Hey, you guys guessed this before the show. Joe Judge, former head football coach of the New York Giants.
Correct.
How old do you think one Joe Judge is?
I know that Kirby knows another. I would have guessed somewhere in the 50s, to be honest.
Right? Like, this dude coached with Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
And Gronk and the Pats in, like, the early aughts, like the early 10s. This is crazy to think that this dude's only 44 years old.
Oof.
44 years old. I would imagine he's not going to be there for long.
Probably not.
What do you think Joe Judge wants to do?
I mean,
Do you think Joe Judge wants another offensive coordinator job in the NFL? Could he
Probably.
not get that already?
I mean, honestly, like a lot of times I think you see like coaches go down to the collegiate level and you get a rinse, wash, repeat of like, oh, they had a really good year with this team. Said organization needs an OC or needs a position coach that has a very good opportunity to exceed it. I think that's what he's doing here.
Do we think we got, like, head coach in college football aspirations?
I don't know. I don't really see that.
I don't
fitting
see-
I
for
should have
him.
asked him at the Fiesta Bowl, hey, bro, what you doing?
I don't.
Like,
There aren't a
what we
lot
doing?
of NFL guys. I feel like nowadays they're like, yeah, let me go try my hand at this college football thing. Like you see a good amount of college guys go to the NFL, and you see like position coaches or coordinators come down and do the thing. But like, if you have to be an NFL or a college football head coach, there's so much more that goes into it that you don't have to deal with in the NFL. i.e. recruiting, booster talks, all the stuff that we talk about all the time. That's added stressors for these guys. I don't think NFL guys want anything to do with that.
I mean, just like of the latest examples that I could think of guys from the NFL that came to the college level, they typically don't stay long. Like Monken was at Georgia for a few years. Chip Kelly had the 1 year at Ohio State, then he moved on. So I'd imagine like guys like Arthur Smith at Ohio State probably not going to be there long. Like those types of things. Like they're probably usually just quick stops, if I had to guess.
This dude's plugged it out for 3 years now at Ole Miss. I think we're going on year 3. So, just I don't know what his aspirations are, but he's too damn good of a coach to be head coach of the offense.
Yeah.
We're probably going somewhere else after this soon.
I mean, another guy you could say was probably, too good for the position he was in was Will Muschamp as an analyst for the Georgia Bulldogs.
100%.
And that's why he's the Texas DC right now. And obviously, Will Muschamp has a
transition from the kid.
has a very, very good pedigree of SEC defenses. I mean, he's been a defense coordinator with Texas. He was the head coach at South Carolina, Florida. He had stints with Auburn and LSU as the DC, even served as the co-DC for Georgia. So, I mean, the name Will Muschamp comes with a really good prestige. And look, he's a defensive backs guy. He played defensive back in college. He was a DB coach before he got DC roles. He's a DB specialist, and I think that's what we could all agree that that's probably the area Texas struggled most last year. So this was a massive addition for them.
Down the stretch, certainly. But I think they were so good in the front six, it was hard to struggle anywhere else.
Right.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But, man, what a for lack of a better term, ballsy move by Steve Sarkisian. I mean, you fire a football coach that I think gave up 17 points per game last year. Not like he was some slappy. We get rid of him for Will Muschamp. I had a source close to Muschamp's camp. How about that? Tell me that this was one of two jobs in college football that would have got him off the sideline or like off the literal sideline back onto it.
Right.
With a whistle in his hand. It was either that or the Georgia job. I mean, he loved his first stint out there at Texas. Thinks it's one of the premier jobs in the world for defensive coordinating, and that's why he is out there. So, yeah, I think it's a tremendous addition for those guys as a coordinator.
That kind of sounds like this is and I'm not going to speculate on the guy's career, but like this might be last stop for him.
I don't know if I think we've – and that's what I was going to say about him. The runs of the stints as a defensive coordinator have always been successful. It's every time we try to go from I'm a great DC and I'm a great coach of defensive football to I'm going to be the head coach of the organization. That's when we have shortcomings. It did not necessarily work out to its fullest extent at Florida, and it certainly didn't at South Carolina. But every time this dude is in charge of a defense, they are great. They are a great defense. I think it's going to work.
And I would also say, like, kind of based on the timing of him joining Steve Sarkisian out at Texas, kind of aligns with maybe, like, this is a last effort at doing this because it's either going to be a great success, you're going to play a role in Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns winning a national title out there and Steve Sarkisian having a long run as the Longhorns head coach, or it maybe doesn't work out, Steve Sarkisian is no longer there, and you're probably not there anymore either.
The most telling comment from Sarkisian all offseason was right after they hired him. I think they're right at the Cheez-It Bowl timing. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was like when
we were traveling out to A&M.
We were going to Texas A&M, yeah.
So it was right around that time. And I remember him basically saying the primary focus around this hire is that he can take over and be the head coach of the defense. I don't have to quality control that anymore. And that set alarms off in my head. I'm like, oh, God, Sark was spending time at defensive meetings? That can't happen. Not because he's a head coach. Like, that can't happen because he's also the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if, like, Kirby Smart's going into the offensive meeting rooms and doing quality control. That's okay. He doesn't call the defensive plays. He's not over there game planning all week for the defensive side because he's also the DC. We can't be the defensive quality control guy and be the offensive coordinator and be the head coach. We can't do all of those things successfully. That was the most telling thing to me. I think that's the primary reason they hired Muschamp. I thought it was a good move. I'm a big Muschamp guy, big Muschamp fan. I don't think it's ever not worked defensively. I think it's going to work there. Speaking of another place I think it's going to work, a lot of people could tell me that I'm like caping for this program this offseason because, well, I really like the head coaching hire. I really like the offensive coordinator hire. I don't think enough people are talking about the defensive coordinating hire. It's Florida. I really, really like the John Summerall hire. Kirby keeps showing me more and more corny things that make me feel a little bit uneasy about me liking this hire. He is a corny guy. There's no doubt about it. I'm okay with that. I'm a little cheese ball myself. I mean, look at the board around here. I'm nothing but cheese and cliche sayings. So you know me. I'll buy into it every once in a while. But everybody knows I'm a big Buster Faulkner guy. How could you not be? Okay, Buster Faulkner's been a top 10 offensive coordinator for 2 years now at Georgia Tech? And if you've seen Georgia Tech, not on tape, but in person, you would be far more impressed with Buster Faulkner than any stat book would ever give you. It's not like he's had a ton of dudes, all right? And that roster down there in Florida is almost always gorgeous and filled with absolute playmakers, okay? So I'm really, really bullish on the offensive hire. We'll talk more about it as we get into the Aaron Philo film studies. As you Florida fans have seen, we've already leaked out a little bit of that footage. It's really, really good. I've been a Philo guy since he was right down the street at Prince Avenue Academy. He's got Georgia high school state records here in the passing department. He's a dude. Now, here's the thing that I don't think enough people are talking about. If you have been a follower of SEC football, you will know one of two things about Kentucky. Don't catch them in a night game at home. Also, that defense is going to come right. That defense is going to come right, and it's going to be hard to move the football consistently. Every once in a while, they'll get a damn nosebleed. You'll score 49 on them on the road. All right, Georgia will do this to them. Alabama will do this to them. They'll get thumped up when they go two places every once in a while. But from 2019 to 2025, they were really, really good defensively and consistently really good. Reason being, Brad White was their defensive coordinator, and he's now the defensive coordinator down there at Florida. And I'm sure passed up plenty of opportunities to leave Kentucky, this finally being the year that he did it, well, because his head coach got fired and Mark Stoops up there. A lot of, controlling circumstances impacting this. But, guys, I think they have two really, really good football coaches on the offensive side and defensive side. Here's the only thing. I think it will be a success, and I don't think these guys are going to be here long. Buster Wagner's 44 years old. Brad White's 43 years old. I don't think either one of them are in Gainesville, Florida for longer than 3 years. So squeeze it while you got it is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and I think the lack of hype kind of stems from the fact that we've seen this story so many times with Florida, unfortunately. That's not to any fault of these guys' own of like, oh, wow, Florida might have made the right hire here. These are all the good things, The Kentucky is a really good defense throughout those years. Buster Faulkner, obviously we know his prestige and what he was able to do with Haynes King and Georgia Tech. I think the skepticism comes from the fact that it's the Florida Gators right now, which they had the opportunity to prove a lot of people wrong this year. Florida could be a very, very dangerous team.
When you guys peeled back the NIL curtain last week, explained some of the deals and inner workings was fascinating. Here's a little tease for you. I'm going to be peeling back the curtain on Gunner Stockton's newest NIL deal in the local hour. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Speaking of not lasting very long at somewhere, the history of this school says this guy might not be here long either. But Alex Golish with the Auburn Tigers. Now we're going to talk about both the offense and the defense. This is no shot to Alex Golish, okay? I'm going to say a lot of great things that should get Auburn fans excited about this hire, and also one of the biggest retaining pieces that you have on this staff as well, that being your defensive coordinator. But if you're an Auburn fan, if you've been locked in on the show over the last month, you probably are very well aware of what this offense is going to be, what it's going to look like. But just to kind of break it down into two simple pieces, this offense tries to do one thing. So first off, say goodbye to RPOs. You ain't got to worry about that, all right? There's no more of that. Hopefully no more throwing your quarterback under the bus in the postgame. But in short, this offense wants to make you do one or two things. They either want to make you honor the run game, so they want to make you add an extra hat inside the box to respect the run, or they want you to play two high safeties and try and stop the pass, and then they're just going to gut you with the run. So this offense forces the defense's hand. That's the whole design of it. We're going to spread everybody out. You got to make a choice.
So we're going to spread you out wide, and you got to make a choice?
Yep. Wide choice.
Whoa!
What do you know? Sometimes football's really simple. Huh?
Got no ball.
But yeah, this Alex Golish guy, he got started in college football coaching in 2004, but I would say he's been a super quick riser. Like, he got his first offensive coordinating gig in 2020, and now he's the head coach of an SEC program. Got tied with Josh Heupel at UCF in 2020, followed him to Tennessee, had a lot of success in the 2021-2022 seasons, had great success with USF as well, averaged dang near 40 points per game this past season, or actually I think he did average over 40 points per game this past year. So an offensive genius, clearly what he's doing worked. Now you're hoping that it works for you at Auburn. And plain and simple, in my opinion, with this offense, like when you get the pieces right, when you get the right quarterback in there, when you get the right wide receivers in this situation, like things are going to go great. The offense is going to look great, but it's all about making sure that those pieces align together. But it's a super fun offense when it works. It produces, and it's shown that over in college football. But should not be overlooked by the retention of DJ Durkin as the defensive coordinator. And the best way that I would put it from my perspective of DJ Durkin defenses, and especially over at Auburn, is they've looked the part every single year. I mean, he gets the right bodies. He gets the right players, the right personnel. They look the part. It's probably a reason why 7 of their defensive transfers transferred to other SEC schools this offseason. So other programs in this conference wanted a piece of what DJ Durkin was doing with his defensive personnel this past year. But it's twitch, it's speed, it's firepower. I mean, they create chaos, and they do a good part of it. So having him still on staff is a massive win for Auburn.
All right.
Speaking of a massive win, how about we talk about our friends over at Sleeper, where you can have massive wins on the fantasy sports and real money gaming app that is focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. They have over 6 million active users as of 2023, with those numbers rising every day, and are earning some of the highest levels of engagement per user in the entire industry. And get this, they have recently added a team picks feature first selection. So now you can go
Word?
in and choose which teams you think will win certain games. It's not just player props at Sleeper. If you head over there today and use promo code Brooks, you will get up to a 100% deposit match up to $100. That means if you put $100 in, you get $100 free from them. Terms and conditions apply, obviously. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. They are currently operational in over 25 states, including the great state of Georgia. That is promo code Brooks. Thank you to our friends over at
Team
Sleeper.
picks, huge update over there at Sleeper. I mean, promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match. Could you imagine if you would have faded Brooks on best bets this year over on team bets? You would have been, 14 games up?
Yeah.
If you would have faded your boy, man, would have cashed out over there on Sleeper. Shout out to Team Bets coming over there to Sleeper. Again, shout out to those guys. Promo code Brooks. Hey, look. Gave love to Florida. Love the additions. Love the outside hires, bringing them in. Buster and Brad White. Now, look, this next football coach we're about to talk about, hard to really question his hiring processes. Okay, hadn't been a head coach all that long, has Dan Lanning out there at Oregon. But, hey, first staff, we bring in Kenny Dillingham as our offensive coordinator. This young hotshot out of Florida State. Within 2 years, bam, bang up hire at Arizona State. Yep. Automatic, like immediate, one of the better head football coaches in college football. Not bad. What do we do with that after that? Well, we hire this former high school football coach that's dominating at UTEP of all places. Will Stein, bam, SEC head football coach within 2 years of my organization. So not bad on the first two hires. Our defensive hire, Tosh Lupoy, head football coach at Cal after 4 years. Not bad. So when I say this, it comes with a little bit of grain of salt that this guy has known what he is doing. But very interesting to see Oregon have all of the resources in the football world, all of it, to open up these two jobs, by the way. Offensive coordinating job where you've got arguably the, NFL like pre-draft, like 2027 hot board QB1. You got the guy in Dante Moore returning next year. You've got a defense that has a defensive-minded head football coach and a plethora of resources on that side of the football, and they don't open it up at all. They promote inward, and I'm okay with it as long as this works. And, again, you would assume it's going to because this guy's track record is really, really good through 4 or 5 years as a head football coach, right? Drew Maringer, an inward, former tight ends coach that's climbed up the ranks inside that organization since they've been there. And Chris Hampton is now the defensive coordinator at Oregon. Boys, thoughts on Oregon, which is wherever you rank it in terms of jobs, it's a top 5 resources, okay? From I can go hire whoever I want, presumably. There's never going to be a coordinator they can't go pay for if they wanted it. And he decides to promote in-house. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're kind of at the point where Dan Lanning has gotten some sort of, grace period to where the last 4 or 5 hires he's made at the coordinator positions on both sides have been fantastic. I do wonder if maybe the fact that they had such a deep run in the college football playoffs now made this a little bit more to where they didn't necessarily get to vet in candidates that they wanted, and that's why they hired within. But even so, you have to trust Dan Lanning's process until he proves you wrong. Like, at
least from the, like you said, from the coaching standpoint. We can make questions about whether or not you can win big games or all that stuff, but from a staffing standpoint, the guy's been dynamite.
I mean, he's going to produce 2 first-round quarterbacks in his first, 6 years with not even 5 years with the team. So
hell, our first year was his first year was 2022.
Yeah, so I mean, he's gonna have 2 first-round quarterbacks in the meantime. So
I mean, this kind of follows the process of who he was with previously, and that being Kirby Smart. Like, this has kind of been a notion that Kirby has taken over as well. Like, he's made some outside hires at offensive coordinator and whatnot, but he's also hired from within. Like, he got Todd Monken, and then it was, all right, we're gonna promote Mike Bobo. And then when it was Mel Tucker's no longer the defensive coordinator, all right, we got this Dan Lanning guy. He's going to be our defensive coordinator. Then we get Glenn Schumann when Dan Lanning leaves. Like, it's always kind of been promote within, but selectively make hires from without. And he's had to do that multiple times. I mean, this guy's gotten poached.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next one that we need to talk about is a team that went through a massive, massive story. I don't know what that was. Massive story, massive scandal. The Michigan Wolverines, obviously Sharon Moore getting fired, Kyle Whittingham coming in and being the head coach now is the one that everyone's talking about. But they had to do a complete overhaul of both of their coordinators, starting with the offense coordinator. They went with Jason Beck, who came from Utah with Kyle Whittingham. And Beck has been kind of on the move the last 3 seasons. He's been in a different spot since this will be his 4th spot in 4 seasons. But he's progressively gotten better every time. In 2023, he was the Syracuse OC. They had 23.5 points per game. Not fantastic. 2024, he was at New Mexico. 33.5 points per game. They're getting better. And then last year, the Utah offensive coordinator averaged 41.3 points per game, one of the top 10 in the country. Really, really got things working there, especially in the running game. So you have to imagine with the rapport that he and Kyle Whittingham have of having worked together last year, things will get rolling pretty quickly at Michigan.
I think it's a great rapport thing with those 2 football coaches, but more importantly, I think it's a good stylistic fit for the way Michigan wants to play football.
Yes.
It's not some air raid coach coming in here. This ain't some, hey, we're going to play out wing, like way out wide. We're going to throw it 35. No. Y'all going to try to physically dominate football teams. That's what Utah is all about. That's what they've been about. That's what Michigan is going to be about. And I think that resonates with that fan base. I think this is one of these football programs where they don't want to win like Ohio State. They don't want to win with bells and whistles. They want to win with bulldozers. They want to win with, I'm going to punch you in the damn mouth 45 times today. I think that's what gives them the juice as a football fan base. Also, October through December, it's kind of what you got to do up there in that place when you play in that stadium. So, because of the weather. So, I think it's a good match for what they got going on out there.
Yeah, and on the other side of the ball, they had to go get another DC they got Jay Hill from BYU, where if you want to just see how well things are going there, his first year with BYU, they averaged 29.8 points per game. Now, your first year with any program is not going to be great. The last 2 seasons were 19.61 and 19.14. So they have very much created some form of consistency on that side of the ball with BYU. They had a really strong defense this year. We saw it a handful of times, especially in both of those Texas Tech games where they didn't end up winning those games, but saw a lot of positive things on defense. So I think it's 2 really good hires for the Michigan Wolverines.
There's a nice and simple one we can kind of just recaptivate yet again, the LSU Tigers. Defensively, Blake Baker, insanity. That's about the purest form. And you LSU fans, you guys know about that, all right? You've been witnessing this for the last couple of years with him, but a really good retention for them.
Lane Kiffin probably not the one to walk in there and go, hey, man, cut the shit.
Yeah, we're getting a little too creative and chaotic over
probably
here. What
not.
are we doing over here?
Matter of fact, let's do some more.
But when it comes to offense, I mean, Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr., I mean, not a better duo, arguably, offensively for an offensive scheme. Keeps it simple. And I'd say the best thing for LSU fans is that the things that you guys have probably complained about over the years of offensive line not being up to standard or wide receivers not looking the way that they have in years prior at the program, none of that matters. Like, the offensive line that you put out there, yes, it matters, but ultimately it doesn't because the answers are given so quickly in this offense, and the offense is so efficient that they're able to hide the offensive line. They did it last year with Ole Miss. We saw it in the playoff games. We saw it in the regular season. Ole Miss has had good wide receivers, but they haven't had, like, transcendent wide receivers during Lane Kiffin's time there. They just had good football players. And so as long as you have that at LSU, which you have, you're going to be fine offensively. So any issues that you kind of have, Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss do a really good job of hiding those things. Then also just kind of highlighting what you're going to get in a quarterback. You're going to get a guy that's athletic enough to create outside of the pocket and a guy that's efficient enough when it gets from getting the ball out of his hands. Like, those are the 2 things that I really correlate with what Lane Kiffin tries to get in his offense. And Sam Leavitt does both of those things, and that's what you're going to get from your quarterback. So
I don't know if Ole Miss will ever recruit Ole Miss. I don't know if this staff, this coaching staff, this offensive brainstem, I don't know if they'll recruit another quarterback that can't run.
Yeah.
That can't give them at least 7 to 8 dynamic touches in a designed quarterback fashion per game. The guys you talk to in that building they think it makes the game so much easier as an offense. It makes everything so much easier. It makes every count so much more balanced for those guys. Ohio State, a football program that churns it out at a really, really high rate. I've always one of my favorite stats about college football is the fact that Ohio State has had 2 500 seasons since World War II concluded.
Yep.
Not bad. They're really, really freaking good year in, year out. They will remain as much this year, I would imagine. Arthur Smith hired to be the offensive coordinator. Patricia back for a second year in this system. And look, I'm more than okay with both. I've already talked about it with Arthur Smith. There's not many examples of quality NFL offensive coordinators and offensive minds, defensive minds, quality NFL coaches coming down to college football and just being putrid. There's just not very many examples of them. Most of them are fairly adequate to really, really good back down here on this level. Even though it's his first opportunity, this isn't like a dude that, what was Buddy's name from South Carolina, the offensive coordinator last year?
Shula?
This isn't like Mike Shula where we haven't called play since 2016. We're fresh off of it, okay, up there in Pittsburgh. So I think it's going to be really successful. Here's my question about Ohio State moving forward with these coordinators. And I don't even know if it matters considering where recruiting is nowadays. What's the juice like on the recruiting trail with Arthur Smith and Matt Patricia? Now, Matt Patricia seems relatively likable. Seems like he could crack wise. Seems like he can a little bit affable. Seems like he's likable to an extent. Arthur Smith, I don't know how much Arthur Smith can relate to young men, to be honest with you. So there's that. But to be honest, what's it matter? Does it really matter if the offensive coordinator's got juice on the trail nowadays? Here's the juice. It's my checkbook. What you need? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And by the way, do you think Daddy's FedEx money comes into play on the NIL market if we get bad enough? Just throwing it out there. Don't know if people know that Arthur Smith is indeed the son of the CEO of FedEx.
Mm-hmm. Well, FedEx.
Don't know if y'all all know that.
FedEx is tied up with Memphis right now.
For sure, FedEx tied up with Memphis. You know, the hub located down there. FedEx's hub located in Memphis. The roots of the organization located in Memphis. Just a thought. We got an opportunity here.
All I know about Arthur Smith from a personality standpoint is he's always pissed off. After every Falcons game, I'm just so pissed off right now. My
criticism for Ohio State's offseason at the coaching staff position is I don't get the Cortez Hankton thing. Never have. I don't understand how Cortez Hankton goes from an adequate job at Georgia, I would argue, to a bad job at LSU, doing a bad job at LSU, to failing upwards to Ohio State. I just thought we can move on. I've already given that take. What do y'all got?
I'll go ahead and give a take to you.
Go ahead.
I don't want to come out and be too bold with this one. I don't want to.
All caps.
I think the Chad Morris hire by Clemson is the type of hire that could get Dabo Swinney fired.
You were saying this pre-show. What's the hatred for Chad Morris?
So we bag on Mike Shula for, this guy hadn't called plays since 2016. Let me read to you the last 7 positions that Chad Morris has had. Of those 7 positions, one of them has been offensive coordinator. He started out as a Arkansas and SMU head coach beforehand. He had a record of 18-40. Now, that's head coach. That's neither here nor there. We've seen bad head coaches succeed coordinator positions. His next job was the offensive coordinator position at Auburn in 2020. They averaged 25.1 points per game. He then went to Allen High School in Texas, where he was the head coach there for 2021. He was an offensive analyst in South Florida in 2022.
He coached Bear Alexander.
Oh, yeah. He was an offensive analyst for Clemson in 2023, and he was the wide receivers and passing game coordinator for Texas State in 2024. He is now the offensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers.
Huh.
And again, I don't want to say it could work out. This could be great. This could be the spark that they needed. What qualifications does Chad Morris have right now that make you think, oh, he's going to be the one to turn this abysmal Clemson offense around?
Him and Dabo Swinney get along?
Great.
Fantastic.
That's great. It's got to be more than that. So I could eat absolutely crow on this, but I don't think this is going to age very well for Dabo Swinney.
Some numbers crunching there, key. Some numbers crunching for me was key when looking up Kendall Briles. Obviously, the new offensive coordinator at South Carolina. I've always been I don't love what went down at Baylor. I've always made jokes about it, but from an offensive play calling and design standpoint, really enjoyed his years at Arkansas. Thought they were really fun to watch. That was the Traylon Burks years with KJ Jefferson, and really fun offenses to watch. And I've always thought relatively highly of Kendall Briles. This is a guy that's called offensive plays for 11 years. And has averaged almost, a full 32 points per game, which on annual, if you average 32 points per game every single year, you're like a top 37 offense, forever. And he's done it at a litany of places: Baylor, FAU, Houston, Florida State, Arkansas. Spent the last 3 years at TCU. But this is why context, when you look through these things, is really, really important. Because when you look at this guy's offensive outputs, there are 3 seasons that stick out like sore thumbs. Again, average is 32 points per game, like over an 11-year career span. But there's a year with 48 points per game, the first year as an offensive coordinator at Baylor in 2015. No offense to the nepotism, but I'm assuming that's Daddy's offense. Is that safe? Probably safe to assume. Probably Daddy's offense, first year coaching, as our calling plays. And then there's another one. In 2017 at Florida Atlantic, we put up almost 41 points per game. And then you realize, Lane Kiffin at Florida Atlantic that year. And then right after that, he scores 44 points per game at Houston. And you do some research and you're like, we had Derek King. So not bad. Other than that, relatively, I'm not going to say pedestrian, but pedestrian. We've been pedestrian.
Well, I guess the good news after hearing all of that is you got Lenore Sellers.
Yeah.
You got a dude.
We have one of these. And I was thinking like Traylon Burks, known for running in a straight line really, really well.
Yeah. All right.
Nick Harbor.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
we got some, we're cooking. We got something going on right here.
Yeah.
It could be one of these. We might pop. Bottom line, never been bad. Like worst year was 27.9 points per game. But I mean, that's James Blackman at Florida State.
Right.
No, I mean, great on NCAA, but like not all that good as a real life quarterback.
No, he was not, unfortunately.
But other than that, he pretty stout, 32 points per game.
Another solid hire, I would say, from this offseason would be Tennessee, snagging Jim Knowles as their defensive coordinator. Got rid of Tim Banks. Obviously, defense was a major issue up there in Knoxville. And first thing to know about Jim Knowles is only dudes have hired this guy over his career. Like, he's been a defensive lifer, but it's been David Cutcliffe at Ole Miss and also at Duke when he got his first shot at being a defensive coordinator in 2010. Then he also got hired by Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. Ryan Day hired him at Ohio State. James Franklin hired him at Penn State. And now Josh Heupel has hired him at Tennessee. And the one thing I think Tennessee fans should hold on to when it comes to Knowles is not the years where he was at Ohio State when he had arguably the best defense in college football or at the very best a top 5 defense. It's in Oklahoma State, those 3 years that he was there, because when he got there, I mean, this was a defense that ranked 80th in most categories. Like, they were horrible in yards per game, horrible in points per game, giving up explosives left and right. And it took multiple years, but by his 3rd year there, they had turned into a top 10 defense statistically. They had the 9th best scoring defense. Now, the only downside of that was they were still giving up explosives at a premium. I want to say they ranked 109th in the country that year for explosive plays. So, and the good news is that it took him 3 years to kind of rebuild that defense and get it to his liking while he's at Oklahoma State. You can rebuild rosters way quicker and efficiently now in today's world of college football. It doesn't take 3 years for you to get a recruiting class, develop them for 3 years, and then have them as your starting lineup. So I think that him showing the progress and the ability to turn a defense around is what Tennessee fans should be holding on to. So Jim Knowles looks like he's going to be a solid hire for Tennessee, and that program needs it desperately for sure.
Also worth noting, they hired Indiana's entire strength and conditioning coordinating staff.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really important for them, not only because Indiana was extremely healthy all year long. That's a strength and conditioning. It's luck, first and foremost, but it's also being healthy and being put together the right way. It's even more important for an organization like Tennessee that's trying to take 85 offensive snaps a game. Indiana's trying to take 55. That's more exposures, right? It's more snaps, but it's more exposures, as we would call that in the football world. It's a smooth transition, Jonathan, right into offseason additions for the Tennessee Volunteers. They are our team of choice tonight, and you already talked about it, the Jim Knowles addition. I'll add on to that just a little bit. Known for a complex zone structure-based defense, all right? And it's a great transition or a great switch up from what you guys were under Tim Banks, which was, we're going to die on this man-to-man hill today. We're going to die a lot on this man-to-man hill today. Not going to see as much of that from this Jim Knowles defensive structure normally, all right? Mostly known as a zone guy. Now, here's the kind of caveat with Jim Knowles, and a lot of people are probably going to talk about this. And I think the stats bear it out based off what Jonathan just told us. First couple years take a little while, all right? And the reason being, their verbiage is different, okay? They are what I would call almost like a picture card verbiage football program, all right, or defensive structure. All right, we're going to show you one word, and that word means everything. It's a whole entire defensive play. All right, we got a defensive stunt right here. Linebackers are doing this. We're playing this coverage off of it. So it's one word verbiage. And the problem, it allows you to play fast, but we have to have a very picturesque memory as a defense. And it takes a while for all of us to kind of absorb that verbiage. Very single named in their defensive verbiage. So you got to learn that. Takes a little bit while longer to install. But once you get it, you're locked in. I remember Steele Chambers talking about this a lot. Ohio State defensive or linebacker wore the green dot for those guys, okay? Might take a little bit, but once it's there, it's there. Now, when we talk about offseason additions and we talk about any offseason planning period, we got to worry about what's going on with the quarterback position. And like Ole Miss and like some of these other programs waiting around for additional years of eligibility, Joey Aguilar in this quarterback room at Tennessee is kind of up for, interpretation, or we got to get some type of delineation from the NCAA and the court system if they don't have him, right? Let's assume if he comes back, great, one of the better returning starters. We loved what he did in 2025 at the position. We assume there's going to be growth at the position. If we don't get an 8th year of college football or an 8th year of eligibility clock window, all right, what is left at the quarterback room? Well, they brought in Ryan Staub, the quarterback transfer from Colorado, played a couple of games out there, didn't look terrible. If my memory serves me, former walk-on at Colorado, a similar story, went third string to first string, kind of an underdog heralded story, plays a couple games, back in the transfer portal, now at Tennessee. So we'll see about that. They also have George McIntyre and Faison Brandon. I love knowing that they knew they were as bad at DB as I thought they were.
Yeah.
I love knowing that. I love looking at a roster. We felt this way about LSU last year, and it all went to poop. But I love looking at your roster and going, man, you're really deficient right here. We can all see it. We can all see you're not good enough at safety. We can all see you're not good enough and old enough and experienced enough at corner, apart from Colton Hood. All right, it's great that Redmond's going to get years of growth out there at the position, look good as a young football player. But you weren't good enough at DB. So what do? They flipped the whole entire room, basically. They brought in 8 defensive backs in the transfer portal, okay? They also knew they weren't good enough defensively, so they threw 12 of their 19 stabs at the transfer portal on that defensive side of the football. I think the other thing to note about Jim Knowles coming over here, guys, he brought 4 Penn State football players with him. If he was an ass like he seems to be, which he seems to be an ass, if you've ever been around it, he don't seem like he likes what he's doing. He seems very upset all the time. A curmudgeon would be the word that I would use there. But if he was such an ass, I don't think people would be traveling with him from Penn State down to Tennessee. I think they'd probably go to Virginia Tech where all the other guys went. But most of these defensive guys were like, oh, wait, what? There's an SEC job available? Coach, you mind if I come too? Absolutely, let's roll. 4 Penn State players followed him. That's good news there. Also love the addition of Kayan Lee. You guys know we're big Kayan Lee fans around here. 3-year starter there at Auburn. He's going to get a 4th year of SEC experience at Tennessee. I would imagine he's playing a lot of snaps for those guys. How about a name for you? Quay Moss. Hey, you sign a Kansas State defender. I like it. I didn't watch a ton of Kansas State footage last year, but every game I ever turned on, I'm like, damn. Dude's flying around, sticking left and right. No coincidence, Indiana stole 2 of them. Okay. I also think it's awesome that we get to see year 2 of David Sanders. Really, really promising year 1 out there for the 5-star tackle at right tackle. Do we kick him over to left? Don't know. Lance Hurd now a Kentucky Wildcat. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting.
Add modern college football right there for you.
Right.
To a T. An SEC starter going to a rival that is a lesser than?
Yeah.
Interesting. I would imagine they were like giving him more money, and Tennessee was like, buddy, you were good, but like I'm not coming out of pocket. I'm not going to the red for Lance Hurd. So interesting there. I think it's year 2. I know it's multiple years into the system for these 2 football players, but really year 2 of them working together. Staley and Mike Matthews at the wide receiver positions. Yeah. Obviously, Brazil going to go to the NFL draft. We presume, or already is in the NFL draft. Presumed to go relatively high in this year's draft, I would think. But I'm excited to see what those guys look like in their second year as meaningful starters and contributors for this team. The most important area of growth, in my opinion, offensively for this group is at the tight end position. Kitzelman, been a 2-year starter for those guys, the transfer from Alabama. He's going to the NFL now. I was honestly shocked he came back last year. Mm-hmm. Now, you didn't really get a ton out of him. He was banged up all year last year, it felt like. But, guys, they've recruited well at this position. Just got to get more out of him. Like, Ethan Davis was a highly touted football player coming out of Collins Hill down here in Atlanta. He's played okay. He's got to play much better this year for them. And Deshaun Brame is a football player that they spent a lot of recruiting assets on and is, a young player, but they're going to need a lot out of him, I would imagine, this year. Need a big year from Deshaun Bishop as well at the running back position. Defensively, man, we're going to see. We're going to see new defensive coordinator and, like I said, 12 of the 19 transfers on the defensive side of the football. It's a big spring, big-time spring for that defensive side of the football.
And, I mean, I think the logic you come into it as a Tennessee fan is anything different than what Tim Banks was doing last year is welcome, and it will be an improvement. And that's not to besmirch Tim Banks. I think it's very obvious last year that man coverage, dying in that, was not a smart move. It got them beat against Georgia. It probably got them beat against Vanderbilt. It didn't necessarily get them beat against Alabama because, the pick six and everything, but it was not the right move for that defense, and changes needed to be made.
Now, you two are Georgia graduates, but I need you to put your Tennessee Volunteer hats on right quick. Be fans for me, okay? Now, as fans of the Tennessee Volunteers, what if I told you that, hey, we got a lot of moving parts defensively, got a brand new defensive coordinator. We're all up in arms at the quarterback position. We don't really know. But I can tell you this as a fan base, you guys have spent a lot of time and money on George McIntyre, and you guys have spent a lot of time and money on Faison Brandon. Would you be okay if we maybe went 7-5 this year, but found out which one of those guys is the future?
No, hell no.
You wouldn't be okay with that, fan?
Hell no.
Okay. So what if the alternative is scratch and claw to a 9-3, 8-4 with veteran quarterback play in Ryan Staub?
I mean, neither one of those alternatives sound very good to
No,
me.
we don't like either option. But I think the future of our football program in 27, 28, and 29 looks a whole hell of a lot better if we figure out which one of these quarterbacks we spent a lot of money on is decent.
I don't disagree with that.
Yes.
Especially because assuming that you guys are the two fans I'm talking to, you would be educated. You would know that it's not just that these are our guys at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. It's that we spent 18 months in each cycle knowing that they're our guy and never moving off. So if we're that confident about our evaluation, why the hell aren't we playing these guys? That's what I would be asking if I wore volunteer orange.
Logistically, it makes absolute sense. As a college football fan, don't ever come to me after I've put up money, after I've bled, sweat,
and say, are you okay with 7-5?
Yeah, don't ever do that.
I'm with you.
Especially with as much as that fan base has had to give in the NIL regards. Don't come to me and be like, hey, can we do 7-5?
We don't know. I mean, maybe one of the young guys is a dude.
It could be.
But I'm saying, would you be okay with me opening up ourselves to exposure like that?
No.
In hopes that one of these guys is a dude?
No.
Okay.
I want to compete for the national title every year. We are one of the biggest brands in college football. We should be doing that every year.
What?
Talk to me after baseball season, and I'll let you know what football season needs to look like.
Now, that's a volunteer fan. That's a guy who knows volunteer ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, our volunteer fans that listen to this network in this sub-episode will let us know.
Yeah.
They will let us know what they think about this discussion. My feeling as an outside observer is I think George McIntyre and Faison Brandon are talented enough and worth the lottery ball. That's what this season would be to me. It would be a lottery ball. We would play with it and see what we can hit.
Right.
Because God forbid one of these guys is a transcendent quarterback talent. Mm-hmm. And you committed to them on the recruiting trail as if they were. So let's go see. Let's F around and find out. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think it makes sense perfectly. I don't.
Now, is that a tough conversation to have with Deshaun Bishop? You bet your ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm just saying I think that could be the alternative to go about. Not saying like, hey, we might go 7-5 if we do this.
Yeah, it's a better way to put it. You're right. That's why he's my PR guy. I run like 90% of my takes. If they're hot by Christian, I'm like, should I say this? And about 7 out of 8 times you're like, yeah, I probably wouldn't say it that way.
I'm glad to be the PR guy.
I'm glad you're here.
I just realized that's a position I hold at this company. So
you haven't noticed over the last 2.5 years.
Well, the official,
that if I have a spicy one, I run it by you first.
Well, the official title had yet to be bestowed upon.
Oh, bestowing titles.
Should update the LinkedIn.
Let's bestow another hour upon our listeners. We got a whole nother one coming up next after this short break.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back here on the Film Guy Network for another hour of loaded local hour content for you guys. We've got off-season editions, local hour version. All right, and you think we know these other rosters, and we do. But you guys know we know this here ball as good as it gets, all right? So these other off-season edition segments, they've been 10 to 15 minutes. This one going to be exhaustive. This one going to be deep. All right, we even gonna rank the transfers 1 through 9. Georgia added 9 transfers. I'm gonna tell you which one of them I got number 1 through number 9. And Jonathan, you're gonna get the opportunity to tell us which order in which we're gonna go on that one. 1 to 9 or 9 to 1. We'll get to there in a second, but don't you worry. All right. We also have Gunner's new NIL deal, which I should have teased a lot more because I've got details on this.
Ooh.
So y'all want to tell the story, and then I'll give the details.
Oh, you mean like the report that was written?
Yeah, the report that was written today, which was based. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, would you like a different pen to fidget with? Because that one's rather squeaky.
Hella squeaky. My bad.
Would you like this one?
Is chat telling us?
No, I'm telling you.
Oh, my bad.
But chat might be telling you later. So.
Okay.
But I have a pen to like.
No. I'm out. No pen.
Okay.
I'll mess with the pink highlighter.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I'm ADD. All kinds
that's
of stuff
why I
going on
offered
over
a new
here.
solution. But yes, Gunner Stockton. The news was broken today by Pete Nakos over on On3 that Gunner Stockton officially signed to return to Georgia. Which, if you're like me or any of the three of us, you were probably like, rather weird to break that news in February, considering the transfer portal is closed. So like, where was he going to go, like, to announce this news now? Well, then you go and read the article, and it kind of makes sense. They're talking to Gunner's agent, or his representative, I should say. I want to make sure I go and get his name right now. But in short, his representative is like, Gunner, he didn't want to make a big announcement about all of this, so I'm here to do it for you instead. And he goes on to say that had Gunner decided to transfer to another program this offseason, he could have earned up to 2 or 3 times more than what he is making at Georgia, and then proceeds to talk about how he took a cut essentially in NIL earnings from the University of Georgia so that they could go out and get more transfer portal players and make sure that they retain the roster. So Gunner Stockton's doing a Tom Brady, I guess you could say. Like Tom Brady was kind of known for doing that with the New England Patriots so they could pay the defense. So, yeah, that was the story of it. So, yeah, there you go. Farin Healy, I believe is his name.
The agent. So we've read a lot of these agent leaked stories. Not agent leaked, but like agent provided quotes to agent-based reporter. Reporter runs article with quotes from agent. I've read a lot of these over the last 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years now. That sounded like the agent just wanted to let everybody know that Gunner Stockton took a pay cut because Gunner Stockton takes a pay cut. I'm not in the business of taking pay cuts. Just letting y'all know that.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like. The agent was letting the world know, like, hey, next quarterback, I'm not down with this. He's down with this because he's a good dude and he loves the red and black. But I'm about this bread.
This is very much a kill 2 birds with 1 stone story where I'm going to come out and say, like, hey, I didn't, poorly negotiate this guy's deal. He's not making this much money because he doesn't want to. And on the other hand, I'm going to do a massive PR favor for my quarterback. Like,
yeah.
He has now been, like, if you didn't love Gunner Stockton before, reading something like that makes you go, damn, I really love Gunner Stockton. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, he's such a rarity. You don't see this in today's age of college football. And by the way, should Georgia go on to win the national championship this year, that's going to be the talking point from the media of Kirby Smart figured it out. You got to find the quarterback that loves your school, that takes a pay cut so you can pay everyone around it.
It's the new meta.
That would be the new method.
It's the new meta in college football. There is a story I have of
Infinite college football glitch.
Yeah, just find a guy that loves my school. But I do have a story about Gunner that, like, I was reminded of today when I was reading
in a Gunner voice?
No, I'm not going to tell the whole story in a Gunner voice. But it was at SEC Media Days last year, and Gunner Stockton is with Kirby and all the other players. And so he sits down in the main media room to do his interviews. And I remember asking Gunner about, hey, you stuck at Georgia for multiple seasons. Like, you did kind of the Georgia thing where you guys kind of sit and you wait your turn and you waited it out at Georgia. I was like, just kind of walk me through your thought process through all of that. And it's not mostly about how he answered the question, but I remember him looking at me very confused when I was asking him this, almost gave me a look of like, why are you even asking this? Like, why would where would I have gone? Like, what would I have done? Like, am I supposed to leave Georgia or something? Like, he kind of gave off this vibe of like, yeah, I stayed at Georgia because I love it here and this is where I want to be. Like, this is my dream to be here. Like, but his reaction during it, I was like, he clearly doesn't understand why I'm asking this question. Like, it was never even a thought to him that like, oh yeah, I would leave if I never played.
What do you think is more likely to have happened? A handful of teams come to Gunner Stockton and like, hey, we'll give you X amount, 3 times, 2 times as much as you're making at Georgia, or that wasn't even never a thing. Gunner Stockton was like, wait, that's going on? Poaching's a thing?
Yeah.
What do you think is more likely?
Who's out here? Because I got what he got.
Okay.
Do y'all any guesses? How much do you think Gunner Stockton's making in 2026?
I'm going to say it is 1.4.
From Georgia? I was gonna guess like 875.
Okay. So I have it on good authority that he's going to make about $750,000 from the rev share, and he's already in line for about $750,000 worth of marketing.
Okay.
So we're about 1.5.
Okay.
We're about a $1.5 million
Put me
quarterback.
on the price is right.
So
I was saying from Georgia. I thought that's what we were talking about.
So who out here is giving Gunner Stockton $6 million?
I don't know that. Well, that was my question of like 2 or 3 times more than what he's getting at Georgia. Like that's what I wanted to know.
Right?
Like who was sniffing around like that guy?
I think that was more we could have done this if we tried. I don't think that there was teams that were
Again,
calling.
this is agent flexing after not
could be
flexing.
agent, like,
Yes.
Agent lifted weights all off season to flex those muscles. Didn't get an opportunity to, so he did so February 9th.
I think that was the agent going like, if we wanted to put our name in the transfer portal when all the quarterback madness was going on, we could have gotten $6 million, but we decided not to because Gunner Stockton loves the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't even think it was teams were calling it up. That's why I doubt there was anyone that called and was like, hey, what's Gunner Stockton's asking price?
I would
guarantee
imagine
if people called and asked. I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility. Like, you don't think anybody called and was like, hey, what's Gunner's price?
Maybe.
Ooh. Georgia Tech?
I don't know who. I mean, Georgia Tech. I mean, there's a handful of teams from last year that played Georgia where I'm sure they were like, hey, that Gunner Stockton guy was pretty freaking good. We might need some of that on the roster this year.
Correct, but he is such a Georgia fit that I don't know if anybody else looks at him as like, that's the guy. We're one Gunner Stockton away from a national title.
Well, no, I don't know. But
Well, I don't think we'd like. I don't want to make it sound demeaning when we say about this.
No.
Like, I think it's more also just like the interest was never there from Gunner Stockton. It was so obviously never going to be there that it was never even a thought for these other teams.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of even trying to call Gunner Stockton and get a hold of him? We know the answer is no.
Can I call Gunner Stockton?
sure.
All right. I'm Will Stein.
All right.
Okay. You ready? Mm-hmm. Hey Gunner, it's a Will Stein. I just took the head coaching job up here, Kentucky. Friend of Dan Lanning. I'm sure you've heard well of him or heard of him. What do you think about being a Kentucky Wildcat?
Coach, I appreciate the offer, but I just really like it here at Georgia. It's home. It's where I'm from. Got some good hunting up there in Kentucky, but I think I'll pass on that one. I appreciate it, Coach.
And scene. And then cut, clip, paste, every other football coach.
Yeah.
Cut, clip, paste. See you.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
It's so pure.
Jay, well, you have to.
I mean, it's so great. We good on the Gunner story?
I mean, I think it does perfectly illustrate like why you love this guy, why he is a rarity in today's era of college football. Is he going to be, the first overall pick in the NFL draft? No. But he is going to be everything that you need him to do for you at Georgia that you can lead to a national title. So,
Perfectly well said.
I'm excited. 275. Can we go from the floor of passing being 250 to like 280, and then the rushing being from 50 to 75? And if we do that,
That means they're a much more explosive
Oh,
offense.
dude.
Yeah.
There's a version of that offense next year that looks really, really dangerous. And if so, all these offseason additions have to hit. They have to hit.
Ooh.
Okay. We've been doing offseason additions for all of these blue bloods, and I call them blue bloods. But the way I do this is like, if I talk about your team and make a sub episode of it, will you actually show up and watch it? So if we do this on your football team, know that at least a portion of your fan base consumes our content, and you have friends here. In other words, but obviously a lot of Georgia fans watch this network, so let's get after it. The Georgia Bulldogs are a high school football builder, right? Blue chips and Band-Aids. That's what I wrote down today. That's what these types of football programs are. They are building it through blue chips, and then every once in a while they'll have to go to the transfer portal for a Band-Aid. Blue chips and Band-Aids. Let's talk about the blue chips first. Last year it was Juan Gaston. It was Donnie Glover. It was Elijah Griffin. Talon Taylor would have been an impactful football player year one, day one on this football team had he not hurt his shoulder. Zayden Walker pops late in the season for this football team. Elias Williams looks like a dude by like week 8 for this football team. Ethan Barbour was starting until he popped his leg out against week 2.
That
Austin
was
P.
Austin P.
So like that's what, 8 names I just rattled off, 7 or 8 names that were good enough to earn freshman burn. So who are these blue chippers in this 2026 class have an opportunity to do exactly that? Well, I think there's almost a dozen of them. I think there are almost guarantees based off what we've heard. They think Valdon Sohn, been there for 15 practices during bowl season. They think Valdon Sohn's going to play as a true freshman this year for these guys at defensive tackle. We've heard a lot about Craig Dangers and Ryan Mosley already. Craig Dangers, the in-state wide receiver from Cambridge, he vaulted up recruiting rankings. He's a top 100 football player. Ryan Mosley should have gotten that same pop if you watch that junior and senior tape. He didn't, okay? He's a dude, though. They think he has an opportunity to play this year as a true freshman. We already know, and we know we love Zyke Helton, the interior offensive lineman from Carrollton. Hell, if he ain't getting on the field as an interior offensive lineman, he'll pursue the hell out of a ball carrier as a defensive end.
Sure will.
Good Lord.
Or just get him on the field somehow, some way. I think he's so uber competitive that he's going to find a way potentially to impact this roster. I didn't know if Juan Gaston was going to be technically sound enough and ready physically to play freshman football immediately, but he did. I didn't know if Donnie Glover was going to answer all of those questions as a true freshman, but he did. Watching the growth of Ekene Boko from junior tape to senior tape was incredible. I mean, it was night and day, a totally different football player. We grew that rapidly at a high school football program, not demeaning his high school football coaches. But I think Phil Rauscher might know a little bit more, just putting that out there. I think Stacey Searles might know a little bit more. I think Warren Erickson might know a little bit more. I think the level of coaching he's gotten in the last 6 months been a little bit different than anything he's gotten in his life. So if we can grow that rapidly junior to senior year, basically on our own, what are we going to look like in 10 months? So what can we look like by the time October rolls around next year? Could this be a football player that improves rapidly enough to get on our field? I think those are the kind of knowns, right? This group of football players I'm about to list off are freaky enough to be scary. Okay, they're physically talented enough to be a wild card. Holy hell, where did that guy come from? Well, coach, he really, really gifted. All right, and listen to this group of names, right? Caden Prothero is 6'6", 225 pounds, runs like a deer. I don't know what he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to be an X. I don't know if he's going to be Noah Thomas. I don't know if he's going to be Darnell Washington. I don't know what he's going to be. But he might be freshman year impact. He might be that good. Maybe he's that freaky. He's physically that freaky. There's no doubt about it. Pierre Dean matches this for me. Like, he's a football player that has changed his body dramatically over the last 3 or 4 years, and NFL pedigree. Now, I know Big Bro had a tough day yesterday, did Jarrell Wilson, but, like, we got really, really freaky genes, and we are physically that. And we play interior / like hybrid defensive line that needs a twitch impact, and we got some of that. Might have an opportunity to do so. Jordan Smith is like 6'2.5", the kid out of Houston, 6'2.5", 200 pounds, and runs 10.4.
Yep.
Gifted enough, freaky enough, might do something. Never know. Caden Harris fits that same mold, the DB from Tennessee, as does Jay Lamar, the running back from Colquitt County. I mean, he's 5'10", 200 pounds, but He is so electric with the ball in his hands. You remember, you guys were in here a lot nowadays when sources call pre-show. You remember how many phone calls we got about Dwight Phillips during fall camp? It's because when you're this electric, they're like, God, we got to see if it happens on Saturday. This might be one of those as well. So there are – I've always said about this high school class, it's a really, really high floor, but it appears to me there's about – I rattled off 10 names that are physically good enough or already good enough football players to maybe impact this roster year one. And they have to, by the way. They have to. I don't think there's ever going to be a day and age where Georgia is one of the older rosters. I think they're always going to be one of the younger ones.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the younger guys that don't play end up going elsewhere, so you don't get these older guys that wait around. And you're absolutely right. Like, there are a handful of names on here that you circle that say, oh, it would not surprise me if come 2026, midway through the season, we're going, my God, could you imagine where this team would be if they weren't on that recruiting class last year? And I'm thinking back to it. I don't remember really 2025 coming in and being like, hey, Donnie Glover's he's got the potential to be a starter for us all season.
Dude, he didn't enroll until June.
Yeah. Like, we weren't really talking like for as much as like, hey, Elias Williams, really, really, really impressive prospect, got the body type that is one of one. But they also have Oscar Delp, and they also have Lawson Lucky and Jared. Like, we don't know if he's going to be seeing the field this year. So guys like that, where even like you look at the depth chart right now, and you don't really see opportunities for him to play, could very, very well make an impact this year.
I mean, yeah, the freshman class last year, I mean, things changed rather quickly. And like Rayshawn Dinkins was a late bloomer as well, and he's super impactful now.
I forgot Dink.
Yeah, Dinkins was one of those guys too. I mean, if you didn't have him last year, you didn't put in a tough situation when Jonel Aguero got hurt. But I mean, really from the offseason of what I remember of the 2025 year, it was, hey, Juan Gasson's going to be a dude. Like, that guy's really good. He's going to play. Elijah Griffin's really good. He's going to play. And then it was Ethan Barber was kind of in the mix. Talon Taylor was in the mix. And that was kind of it for a while, I felt like.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like, that's what sources were explaining. They're almost like tipping it already. It's like, we're going to have freshmen that are going to be good enough to really impact this roster. I think they've hit some home runs at the top end of that class.
It's funny, too, though, because on paper, this is one of Kirby's worst classes. And I know by stars and metrics and all that, it's very interesting. But it is interesting to see that the classes that seem to be making more and more impacts than ever, not only because of the demand, but because of the fact that they are able to do it, are some of the lesser ranked. Now, I know last year's class was ranked second, but
I don't know. This is a random thought, and I have no idea if it impacts the overall outcome of scoring metrics of classes. But when I first got into this industry, they ranked players 1 through 1,000. The cutoff was 1,000 on 24 Sports. You will not find players ranked outside of the top 400 now, maybe 250. You even cut it down to 250. I say that to say that I think the evaluation process as a whole has gotten much smaller.
Yeah.
yes.
So maybe the classes don't look as good is what I'm saying.
Could be true.
Maybe. Again, let off with have no idea.
It could be, yeah.
Correct.
I mean, you are right. But it is funny that we sit here and talk about like how this could be one of the most impactful freshman classes Kirby Smart's ever had. And on paper, it's one of the least lowest ranked that he's had in a while.
All righty. Those are the blue chippers. Let's talk about the Band-Aids. Got 9 of them. 9 transfer portal additions. Jonathan, you want them 1 to 9 or 9 to 1?
What if we did 5 to 2 and then 9 to 6 and then the number 1?
Jonathan, I can barely count.
This is the first time I disagree with you.
I can barely count 1 to 9. Let alone bebop around like that.
I hardly ever get picked my way, so that was the entire bit.
Let's do it 9 to 1. Let's build.
That idea.
All right.
Good
Let's
idea.
build.
Good idea.
Competitive practice player. Tyquez Richardson.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not.
Again, not to
It's not.
talk down. Like
Go ahead.
There was to say there's a role for this player to serve when he got on this roster. And I think he's going to serve it well. I don't think that this was someone that they went out and expected to be a starter, and that's okay.
I think the big hurt there was the junior college transfer that was 6'8" that transferred to Arizona State. I felt like they thought they had that one kind of in the bag, if you will. And not so much, but there we go. Number 8, Bryson Beaver.
Yep.
I think he does a lot of things that Kirby and Bobo like in quarterbacks. I mean, if I just said, hey, if I just called Mike Bobo out of the blue, I said, hey, coach, can't do this, by the way. Hey, coach, I got a 6'2", 200-pound, accurate, not the biggest arm in the world, could use some weight, but man, what a leader of men. And, hey, really, like, gets the unit going and, like, can control the operation and doesn't turn the ball over.
How much does he cost? Where do I sign?
He's cheap, coach.
Oh, perfect.
He's cheap.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think he does a lot of things that, like, Ryan Montgomery does. He's just not 6'5".
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's, a little bit more athletic maybe than Montgomery.
And
The Montgomery stands would be like, but Brooks, Ryan Montgomery played great high school basketball. He did, as a chicken on the block power forward. If you know, a barbecue chicken on the block.
I'm aware.
We back to the basket. We not turn one step. You know what I mean? Well, a different kind of brand.
You know what that means? Footwork will be impeccable.
Oh, hey, footwork impeccable.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. We turn around hook shotting, not
it.
turn around yamming.
And also, like, Bryson Beaver was never supposed to make an impact this year. Like, ever.
No.
This was purely an insurance tape because, one, you missed out on Jared Kirsch.
We need bodies.
You didn't have a quarterback in 2026. And, hey, if this kid develops 2 or 3 years down the line, he'll be a spectacular quarterback.
Honestly, I think it's the same reason they took Braylon Conley, the corner out of Southern Cal. It's a kid that Dante recruited out of high school, has a prior relationship. Maybe the best football is ahead of him. He's got 2 years left. Maybe see what you can get. He's number 7. Number 6, and this felt really low to me, but I think the other guys might have an ability to impact the roster a little bit quicker. We haven't shown you yet, and I haven't shown you guys yet. I've only taken the notes, but I loved, and I mean loved, the Gentry Williams tape.
Oh, it's good.
The Gentry Williams tape is twitchy. It is instinctual. It is, and what's even better about him is, like, you think, oh, well, he's been banged up. Yeah, a lingering shoulder issue, and we're talking about a twitchy corner. I don't really care.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, as long as it ain't been you blew both knees out, the lower half is what I was infatuated with. Hey, yo. And we're good. I loved the Gentry Williams tape.
Yeah, and also coming from
6 feels low.
Coming from a system that is so familiar, and I know that Brent Venables does some different things, but for the most part, very similar terminologies. It's not like he's going to be drowning or drinking from a fire hose the first time he gets there.
I think more importantly, coming from a Venables system, I know that he can handle overkill.
Yes.
I know you can do a lot. I don't know if you do what we do, but I know I can give you a lot, and you'll be fine.
Yes.
That one to me felt very Tyke Smith-ish.
I got another comp in here for Tyke, and he's my number 2 player.
Valid.
Come on, man.
Valid.
There's an obvious layup for a Tyke.
I know, but to me, that's the kind of trek that I was feeling with Gentry Williams.
I like it.
He could just be a super impactful player.
Number 5, how about Dante Dowdle? A sneaky addition.
Yeah.
Also a sneaky 6'2", 225.
I think he was 7th in the SEC in rushing yards last season.
He had like 540 something.
And I don't think he had a single game with more than 17 totes.
Yeah.
It's not like he got a bunch of opportunities there.
He is a very, very big boomer bust guy, and when he booms, he absolutely booms. So, I mean, Georgia could be imagine this where Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowens are splitting 1s and 2s carries, and then this Dante Dowdell kid comes in and just cracks off a 60-yard run. Like, it very well could be 2017.
There's going to be a game or 2 next year where he does this.
Yes.
I mean, he's 7 for 104 at Florida. It's not like he needs a lot of them.
No.
He turned around or to start the season 14 for 129 against Toledo. Again, your Rockets. I was stunned to realize a whole hell of a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that way on tape. Feels explosive, feels twitchy, feels straight line linear.
For sure.
Not that big. That's a big dude.
I mean, I think he could be 2017 DeAndre Swift. Maybe not as highlight flashy, but the change of pace where you have a really good 1-2 punch and then this third guy comes in, it's like, damn. He's good too? Shit.
Number 4 on the list, Isaiah Canyon. I think Isaiah Canyon is good CJ Wiley insurance.
Yeah, I think that is a very solid place for me. And, like, I don't think anyone's going to expect Isaiah Canyon to have, and they're completely different positions, but from an impact standpoint, a Zachariah Branch type season where you come in and it's just like, my God, he was the best receiver we had. I don't think that's the trajectory for Isaiah Canyon. He could be absolutely a solid 600-yard wide receiver for you, though.
Here's a tremendous question. When was the last time a starting X under Kirby Smart lasted the whole year? You've needed 2 every single year. Now, part of that's because George Pickens threw someone through a brick wall. But the other part is he wasn't always healthy.
The last time I think was...
Was it 17?
No. Rojak was healthy the entire 2023 year, wasn't he?
But he wasn't the starting X, was he?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
That's the only
That
one
was
I
that
could
was
think of.
we're gonna push in Rojak, and we'll also have he who shall not be named on the team from Mississippi State.
Yes.
Gotten a little bit of trouble.
It's unfortunate that that's not enough information to just pick up on it immediately. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
Yeah. Ha-ha?
Who are y'all talking about?
Ra Thomas
That's what I said.
You said
Ha-ha. He's at Troy, by the way.
he's out of eligibility.
He came
now.
from Mississippi State.
Yeah, he who shall not be named.
Yeah, I wasn't picking up on the ha-ha, though, in that moment.
Ha-ha. Wordplay. Jonathan?
I mean, the best X receiver Georgia has had from like start of season to end of season is Javon Wims, and that was 2017. But so I mean, yeah, you're like they do usually need 2 X's, whether it be injury or,
Lack of production.
I threw a Georgia Tech player into a brick wall.
Or we just got 2 decent ones and one of them's not the guy.
You could,
Just go play 2 of them.
You could say George Pickens was the last X to start a season and finish a season. That was 2019, and he played 12 games before the suspension against LSU. And that was only half a game. So I mean, George Pickens in 2019 was the last.
I felt like he played most of 2020.
He did.
Played 8 of 10, right?
Yeah, there were a couple of games he missed because stuff was going down. COVID might have tested positive a time or 2.
Yeah, might have strained a pectoral muscle.
Yeah.
That's just really George Pickens really known for pushing
Crushing
weight
it on the bench press.
Really known for mid-season max outs.
What's that, George? You tested positive? Oh, looks like you can't come to Jacksonville with us. I'm sorry.
Huh? That's weird. You're a game time decision, but you don't show up for the game.
He was social distancing, man.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, you're right. Like you do need more than 1 X.
Let's send the I retire so I could tell the story.
Yeah, there might be a couple of those.
Yeah, you hang around in this business long enough, you find a couple of them. I don't know if what's the limitations, whatever.
Statute of limitations.
I don't know if it'll ever apply to that one.
Yeah.
Number 3, Khalil Barnes. Big time starting experience, has played well and played healthy for 3 years.
Yep.
Right? Like, I thought about Zion Branch, who we're going to talk about tonight when we do our meeting room with our safeties here in just a second. But I thought about, like, Zion Branch has played big-time football, but he came over here banged up, hadn't stayed healthy. This guy's played big-time football, played good football, and played a lot of games. So has it been first-round caliber stuff? Nope. Has it been third-round caliber stuff? No. It's been 4th, 5th-round caliber stuff, but you need something. You need a quality starter, and this is one.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely like the ideal. Like the amount of, and this isn't to the fault of our own, it feels like the safety room has just been a revolving door the last 2 seasons of, well, this guy can't get healthy, and this guy's not ready yet, and this guy isn't quite delivering, and like we've got 1 or 2 veterans back there, but we need more with the type of defense that we run. So a Khalil Barnes type would be absolutely welcome. I don't think that it's going to be like 5 years from now we're talking about how, man, he was a fantastic, maybe top 5 safety under Kirby Smart, but if you can start at the University of Georgia, you're a damn good football player.
We got 2 players left. Jonathan, you've been in here with me during every additional transfer film study. Who do you think is going to be number 1?
You want me to go ahead and spoil it?
No, I mean, just tell me. Who do you think is going to be number 1?
Probably Jamarlee Ridley. Or Riddle. Is it Riddle?
Number 2, Jamarlee Riddle.
Really?
The safety out of East Carolina. A playmaker and a striker. 6 foot, 190 pounds, no fear at all. Reminds me of Tyke Smith's tape when I first watched him at West Virginia. Not as thick as Tyke. Tyke plays at like 203, 204. Tyke's a big man. This guy, not as much, but I think Tyke, to me, and a very similar player to Chris Smith in this sense, very few athletes do I connote with confidence in their striking ability like those guys, where they almost get to play full speed all the time, never really break down, and never miss tackles. It never happens for most people unless you're one of these very unique, spatial aware athletes. I think he is one of these guys. He absolutely throws his body at contact, and he rarely misses, okay? This is not an out-of-control football player. He plays on the verge at all times. I think he played with such confidence at ECU. If we can get him to do that at Georgia, the ceiling of the impact for this player is relatively unlimited.
I think, it might be Amaris Williams. I think this is the highest ceiling of any of the transfers that you have on the stick.
One is Amaris. I
Yeah.
mean, he is the number one prospect that they signed this offseason for me, and I think they feel this way about him. I think they found it. I think they think they stole somebody.
Yeah,
I think they feel like they found gold in
but,
Amaris.
But before we talk about Amaris, like Jamari Riddle could absolutely be like Javon Bullard, Tyke Smith levels of impact for your defense.
Absolutely.
Which is also, he kind of brings the attitude that you're going to need. And KJ Bolden could very well be this, and frankly is what this is right now. But having two of these guys in the back end of your defense could make things very, very scary for Georgia in 2026.
Should be noted, a premium interview with Glory and Jamari Riddle is out. I haven't watched it yet.
I have not had a chance to. I
either.
found out about its existence when I got here. So
All righty, so there's that. We've already got that film breakdown up. You should watch that if you haven't already. We've already broken down Amaris Williams, who is my number one transfer addition this offseason. Guys, I think he has a chance to be one freaky MFer. Like, you guys were so without twitch and immediate suddency at the defensive line or a line of scrimmage last year. I think he solves a lot of those problems. 6'2", 265 pounds, and here's what you need to know about him. A first step demon. I mean, this guy closes space on offensive linemen so quickly. His change of direction is so rapid that I would be terrified. And you could see interior offensive linemen be really, really concerned on third down. I wonder how they're going to use him. I know how Auburn used him. If you watch that film study, he was a situational pass rusher as an early football player. They had dudes last year at his position, right? It was the Kelby Collins kid, number 24 on the other side. I always forget his name. They had two NFL football players at his position, and they felt like Crawford. They felt like he was so good they had to throw him in there on third downs as well. He is going to be the third to the three-headed monster that they now need at this position, okay? It'll be Gabe Harris. It'll be Quintavious Johnson. Amaris will give both of those guys a breather. And then at some point, you'll see Isaiah Gibson and Nick Anagman develop and get playing time at these positions as well. So they needed this. I think he has a chance to be a holy shit type of football player.
Yeah, multiple years left as well, so that's a big plus. But, yeah, this one feels a whole lot different than when they nabbed Elo Mendoza out of the transfer portal. Like, when they got Elo, it was, okay, guys played a lot of football, like just like a –
familiar with discipline.
Yeah, like going to do all the right things, but there was no flash with him. This is – it's all flash. It's all, ooh, that's exactly what Georgia needed in the edge room.
And we talk about how, the safety room needed a lot of help, and they addressed bias this year. It feels like it's been a while since Georgia has had a win now. It's third down, peel your ears back, and rush the passer type of guy on the defensive line. Jalen Walker was this in 2024 to some degree. They had a couple of really decent players in 2023. Nolan Smith in 22, and Trayvon Walker, and obviously the 21 defense. But it's been a while since it's, all right, it's third down. We know who's getting their number called to go get the quarterback.
I remember turning on the LO tape last year and having a difficulty finding flash plays. We found solid run defense.
Yeah.
We did not. You turn this one on.
And it's like, oh, we get it.
It's like, whoa.
No wonder.
Wow, So I think this is going to be really, really fun to watch this year on the defensive line for Georgia for this guy. He's going to be really, really fun. What's next, boys?
We got meeting rooms.
We do have meeting rooms. We got safeties. Tell me if I'm missing anybody, because I only have 3 names that have played a lot of football. Now, I know Kyron Jones is missing off this list.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know why Kyron Jones is off this list. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Right.
we just don't know.
We still know. So KJ Bolden, Rayshawn Dinkins, and Zion Branch. This is Nichols included.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Yeah. Now you know why they went
for
and got
3
some
spots.
bodies.
Yeah, that's why they went and got what they got, because there's not a lot of – and one of those guys is a true freshman coming back in year 2, and the other guy spot played in Zion Branch.
Yeah.
So they needed impactful players, and you're hopeful that they got them in Riddle and Khalil Barnes at that safety position. But let's talk about it. Let's talk KJ Bolden first. I think first and foremost we need another 10 pounds. I think we did a good job last offseason putting on some good weight. I think we need to get even more filled out. Now, the older I get, the more and more I realize that some athletes just never find it. Like, I legitimately think Kevin Durant could eat nothing but Sour Patch Kids and Whataburger 7 times a day. And I don't know if he'd ever put on weight. I just don't know. So some guys just don't get it. Now, you're my physiologist. Is that a good word there? I don't even know if that is a word. Is that true? Some guys just, you're going to be lean your entire life.
Like, there's ectomorphs, endomorphs, and mesomorphs, and like being able to look at certain guys and like, okay, their genetic type is going to be a lot thinner than others. Like, you see offensive linemen are typically a lot easier to put on weight. KJ Bolden could not put on 30 pounds as easily as a Juan Gaston could. So you're absolutely right. Like, there is a certain threshold that you max out at. I don't think he's hit that ceiling, though. Okay. And I also don't know if you want him to hit that ceiling, though, because you start to sacrifice speed and mobility when you do that.
We're like 190, 192 right now. Could we get to 200?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think 200 is attainable.
It's a good goal for KJ Bolden maybe this offseason. But I think the most important thing is we got to play more high-impact football. I think that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what you are. You're an impactful star caliber football player. You should be a superstar at this university. I need to see big strikes on tackles. I need to see pass breakups. I need to see interceptions. We got to have them. All right. But I think more importantly, all of that, in my opinion, will come the moment you become comfortable in the role that you had to be put in last year. The moment you understand that you are comfortable again being yourself as the guy, I think you'll be back to being this dude, this playmaker. I think I'm not saying he was timid at all. I think last year was a lot. I think there was a lot of stuff going on that we weren't able to just unlock. And I think this is a player that has to be in flow state.
Yeah, and I think unlocking honestly involves me just more game-wrecking plays.
Yeah.
There were a couple of really good, like the interception against Tennessee, against Texas, like stuff like that is great. I feel like if you look back at some of the better safeties Kirby Smart's had in the 2021 to now run, the Chris Smiths, the Malachi Starks of the world, they had game-wrecking plays. Chris Smith could do things that would change games completely. Malachi Starks had game-wrecking plays. You're sitting there cross-armed like, did I steal it?
No. There's a football player in that mix at the safety position that you did not mention. And
Tyke
I'm
Smith,
offended
Javon Bullard,
Nope, still not there.
Dan Jackson.
Still not there.
Really? No Dan Jackson love?
Y'all are still not there.
Since
With
2021?
with what you're talking about, a dude that's just floating free, making plays
Oh, well, he said
left
since
and right.
2021, but Richard LeCount.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Richard LeCount.
I didn't hear the caveat of
He-
since
he was
2021.
the
But
first.
no Richie Love is not
You
going to
missed
be
the
allowed.
Since 2021, you missed the
Okay,
parameter.
my bad.
Richard LeCount was the first of that. Of you turn the tape on and that guy's just doing
Yes,
things because he
but
thinks
yeah,
it's about to happen.
Richard
Man.
LeCount was absolutely this of just like, oh, number 2 just made an absolute game-wrecking play. That's incredible for us. KJ Bolden is a handful more of those away, and to his credit, he was in position to do that. He had 2 interceptions dropped against Alabama in both games. Like, there is absolutely more room for him to grow, and I think he will grow into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I meant to. Yeah, every now and then we slip up like that.
And it's best
No
as
judgment around here.
No, it's best as a teammate to let by know you heard it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what it is.
I haven't worn the helmet in a while. We good on KJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rayshawn Dinkins, come on in. No reading the press clippings. I don't think we have to worry about that with you, but no reading the press clippings. There's going to be a lot of people talking about how you ran an SEC 2-year starter about the job, which is kind of the reality of the situation. Is that fair to say? I know if there's an Ole Miss
what
fan
it
finding
looks
this, they're
like,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's cope. That's cope.
That's what it looks like.
I think he
That's
was.
what it is.
I think he was given an opportunity, he maximized it.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is, if Jonah Aguero never gets hurt, I don't think Rayshawn Dinkins starts a game this year, and that's no slight to either one of them. I
don't think it prevents what happened January 2nd.
No.
or whenever the portal actually opened for Georgia.
The press clippings that Rayshawn Dinkin should be reading right now is, hey, Georgia just took 4 defensive backs out of the transfer portal, upperclassmen type guys that have played already. Those guys might start over you.
Somebody might be a nickel.
Yeah, somebody might slide down there and take some snaps from you.
It's a great point. I think as a player, we know you're really, really physical and you show up in the run game and in the extension of the run game. We know you're there. We know you're a great tackler. I think what I got to see is more comfort as a cover player, all right? Because Lord knows in the history of covering Georgia football, if they're going to get attacked, it's out of the slot. Mm-hmm. So no more Dalen Everett this year, which means I highly doubt we're just throwing DeMello in the nickel on 3rd and passings.
Right.
So you might have to be there, which means you might have to be a lot more comfortable doing that. So we got to get better there. There's no doubt about that.
Can I sidetrack for a little bit before we move on?
100%. We got plenty of time to do so.
Why did we not see Dalen Everett in the nickel in those situations? It felt very much like it was Dalen Everett corner, Ellis Robinson corner, and then we'll put DeMello in the nickel. When all offseason we heard of like, hey, Dalen Everett's cross-training. I felt like he played very, very few snaps at the nickel position.
Can I speculate?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that maybe because DeMello showed more signs of being a more impactful player closer to the ball. Like he felt like
the tackling tape of DeMello is superior.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no denying that. But I also felt like Dalen Everett was more than capable of, sticking his nose in, making a play inside the box.
Certainly willing to.
To his credit, like the caveat the saying on Georgia is like if you're going to attack them vertically, it's within the slot.
Yeah.
And Dalen Everett is the perfect, way to stop this. Felt like, I don't know, just a thought. Like for as much as we heard, like, hey, he's going to be our nickel guy if we really get in a pinch this year. If Jonel Aguero's not what we thought, if we're injured, didn't play that much nickel.
Here's a hot take for you. Don't even play nickel next year.
Really?
Zane Walker, Raylan Wilson in the box.
You saying
Chris
just go
Cole, Chris
4-3?
Cole apexed. Go strict 4-3. Quarters. Just OD on Indiana tape all year.
I mean, it's possible. You got to be really good at rerouting if you're in.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, who would be better than a 6'4 Avatar
it's true.
This is true.
with 35-inch arms?
We might see some of it.
Hey, we're talking real high-level ball right about now. We're talking over some heads right about now. It is what it is. Bring me Zion Branch, a football player that every time I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Still on the roster. Played way better than everyone thinks, I think.
Exactly.
And you're that way. Go ahead. Go on. Go
yeah,
on.
I mean, like,
Do the thing.
we came into the 2025 season with the, hey, this Zion Branch guy is kind of just the add-on, kind of the cherry on top that got us Zachariah Branch. He's probably not really going to see the field. He's probably not going to make a huge impact. I felt like anytime Zion Branch stepped on the field this season, he gave you winning football. There was not a moment to where I would say that you could explicitly point to and say Zion Branch had a horrible bust on this play. Now, you can go back and watch film, and there might be some areas where it's like, hey, why are you in cover one doing this? I did not feel like Zion Branch was a losing player last year.
The only thing I will say, I think 3 defensive pass interference holding penalties.
Yes.
2 of them against Florida? Was there 2 of them?
There were 2
And one against Tennessee, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. And look, defensive
And
pass
had one against Alabama, didn't he?
He might have.
might have. Had a couple of DPIs.
Was he part of the touchdown drive where
think so.
DeMello gets the penalty and then he
Silly
combines it
ass
with another one?
defensive penalty.
Yes.
Something like that.
That
yeah.
was-
No, that was DeMello gets 2 in a row. He gets a late hit and
that's
then
right.
a DPI.
Yeah. You're
Ball's
right.
underthrown, doesn't allow the wide receiver to fight back. But I said that because watching him, like you said, if you watch him on film, a little bit grabby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I would say really grabby. We have to eliminate that.
I don't think I don't think Zion Branch is going to be your best safety this season. But like in the way we talk about Khalil Barnes, if you get winning safety play from this player for the 15, 20 snaps that he's in, for hey, it's 2nd and 10, and God forbid, someone came up with a stinger, or we had a targeting penalty, or so and so can't go right now. We need you to step up, number 2. I think you should feel good about that.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a Kyron Jones type of, wait a minute, Zion's starting?
Yeah.
Safety? I do think he's that good of a tackler.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they like. They know what KJ is. KJ's a great center field safety, great cover safety as well. really good tackler. But the other short side safety tackler better be ready to come downhill and thump.
Yes, he should.
All right, and that's what Zion did. I felt like every time he was in there. Super Chubb, how would you want to recommend a 4-3 when a 4-2-5 defense would make so much more sense with the agility coming into the secondary of Georgia? I mean, yeah, they threw a lot of bodies at the secondary. I'm just saying, like, hey, what if we just let Chris Cole play star?
I don't think that's a bad idea on, first and second down and maybe third and shorts. But
I mean, it is one of the first natural abilities we saw him do at Georgia.
Uh-huh.
Hey, this Gunner Helm guy's tearing us apart a little bit. Why don't you just go out there and run around?
Uh-huh.
It was really natural at it. He was really good at it.
I just think that forever, and I understand why, like the more and more spread off, like you can't do that. I don't think you should do that against like Tennessee, Mississippi State, now Auburn.
Yeah.
Like there's so many teams that play wide choice, spread, air raid concepts that you just can't. I understand this. But if you're playing any version of 12, if you're playing any version of 11 bunched, I'm playing base moving forward. It's just what I'm going to be. So that's me though. And the more and more I watch football, I never thought I was going to be that.
Right.
Like if you search through my Twitter as recently as 3 years ago, I'm talking about the death of the outside linebacker, which is what we're talking about. Like true outside linebacker. I'm talking about the guy that stands apex the box. He stands splitting the difference between the closest wide receiver and the end man on the line of scrimmage. That has been a nickel in football for the last decade. And now more and more teams are going back to playing what we call base. And it's one of the more interesting things about the change of football that I've seen in the last 2 years. There aren't many of them.
No. So we talk safety room. Obviously, the transfers there's a lot of Band-Aids on the transfer world. Is there any avenue to where some of these guys in the 2026 class, like a Zach Ford or Jordan Smith, could potentially earn some meaningful snaps? Because we have seen freshmen take over starting roles. Like KJ did it 2 years ago. Malachi Starks obviously did it. Like, is there an avenue this year?
So I should let you know, I think Jordan Smith, the kid from Houston,
yes,
is who you're talking about. I think he is going to start his career as a corner.
Okay.
From my intel. Now I know what the recruiting services have him listed as.
Or like maybe even like a Tyreek Green.
Well, I think for me,
tremendous call, and I'm surprised. Shame on us, 54 minutes to give a boogie shout.
Well, and
the Baba Yaga is going to have an opportunity to play.
And maybe this is a guy that you start talking about more when spring football comes up, because I'm sure that he'll get some opportunities as well. But I'm more interested in a guy like Todd Robinson right about now. Like, what's going on there? Like, that was a good football player coming out of Valdosta. I mean, heart and soul of high school football in the state. And just kind of like more so like not concerned about Todd Robinson, but like would like to know like, hey, where's that at? Like, is this guy going to be a contributor this year? Because I mean, he could be. This is a multiple year for him.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
like
it
was good to see him in New Orleans.
Ah, that's right, we did.
It was good to see him. There was a thing there for a second. I think this is a very passionate football player. Mm-hmm. It's a very passionate young man. Mm-hmm. I think he's very excited to get opportunity to play.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You picking it up?
No,
yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Picking it up.
I figured I laid it down pretty hard there.
I don't even know if J. Will was like aware of any of that because he wasn't in New
You weren't there.
No, I wasn't.
Like that was a very quick like 36-hour cycle. Like, hey, this might be a thing, and then it was, no, it's not. We're fine. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, last time I saw Todd was when we went to Valdosta game.
Dude, what an incredibly intriguing athlete.
Yeah.
5'11 and a half, 200 pounds, a 10.6 100-meter runner.
Yeah.
Former high school quarterback, but also an absolute lightning rod at safety with some shit to him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, he going to play at Georgia. I've always said about him, he is one of those classic Kirby Smart guys.
That's what I was about to say. This is a Kirby guy.
Dude, it's just an all-around football playing SOB. That dude, I don't think I've heard him say 10 words. And I've been around him since he's like 14. He don't talk. He don't do nothing. He don't celebrate. He hands the ball to the ref, keeps it pushing. It's a dude.
Could very well be one of those guys down the road where, because like the industry never picked up on him really Like, he kind of just hovered around as a 3-star.
I'm surprised he didn't get that late bump.
Yeah, he didn't
after
get
that
one
state
of those.
title game.
He's just kind of remained the same ranking throughout his career. Very easily could be one of those players of, here you go again. Kirby gets an in-state 3-star, and now he's a star on the defense, and everybody's talking about him.
I know what it is with the industry. He's not a first off the bus guy.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's not. He don't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think he's not that guy. But it's weird that Caleb doesn't get this. Caleb Downs does not get this.
No.
Yeah.
But if you ever see Caleb Downs, you realize, wait a minute. That guy?
I think it's
He's like 5'11", like 200 pounds.
I think it's
He's the
because
best football player on the field all the time.
Yep.
yeah.
Ty's been the best football player on the field a lot of times.
Yes, he has.
I think part of the reason why Caleb didn't necessarily get that was because he was always advertised as like this cerebral, like,
Yeah.
hey, this guy will never make a mental mistake when he plays. And
Yeah.
so like that was always understood before you even saw what he looked like.
But
Yeah.
even to, like, the point of, like, that's not what gets you a 5-star, you know, like being cerebral.
Yeah, normally it's highway speed.
Yeah, nobody's like, man, this guy's a top 10 player in the country because the IQ is off the charts, man. I'll just go ahead and yeah, you're right. That's a good, like, type of comparison of, like, interest.
And I'm not saying look, I don't think he's
Right.
ever going to be that.
Right.
I think he's really, really good. He's not going to be a top 10 player, I don't think,
Exactly.
in an NFL draft.
Right.
But it is just weird that Caleb never. I had this conversation with Chad. I don't know if I'm betraying conference. I had the conversation with Chad Simmons because he does rankings. He always has. And I said, that's got to be the most non-5-star y'all have ever had that's like a guaranteed 5-star. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, Chad, he's 5'11". He's 195 pounds. By the way, 4'5'2", maybe?
Right.
Like, this isn't a burner. He's not going to go to the combine and do like crazy shit. It's just going to be tape, in-person evaluation, IQ, intangibles, impact. I think he's a one of one.
He might
Honestly, I think he's a very one of one football player. But I do see I bring that up because like it's very interesting that Ty gets labeled with all the he's too small things from the industry,
Right.
not from Georgia.
Well, the
Never
industry has a really, really good track record of always being right about every player that they've ever evaluated. So,
Well, you know, there were 106 players in the Super Bowl. I think 57 of them had recruiting profiles.
yeah.
So not bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, look,
It's a decent shout. Decent percentage right there.
got another super chat.
Yeah, we did. Y'all were talking about playing more 4-3 base personnel, even though Saban Kirby defense is traditionally based out of 3-4 odd, which would make more sense with our current personnel. Nick on fire. No football team listed as a 3-4 has actually played 3-4 since 2017, I would argue.
Yeah,
At least
it's
at this place.
It's all mint front. You're walking down.
Yeah, it's
that
all
front
4-2-5s.
guy. Yeah.
It's all 4-2-5s out of a fake odd structure, which is meant. They're playing 4 downs out of an odd front, odd alignment with a true zero. That started in 2018. As soon as Jordan Davis, about midway through the season, got true zero verified, and then they're like, all right, this is our defense moving forward. That's been it since then. So it's a discussion. One of those moments where I'm like, oh, y'all, people don't know. They've always been listed as a 3-4 football team. You look them up right now. They're listed as a 3-4 football team. They will not play 3-4 personnel. They won't. They don't even do that anymore where they bring 2 outside linebackers on the field. If you play 12, they just bring 2 inside backers on now.
Yep.
Like used to, if you played 12, Jermaine Johnson would come on the field with Azeez Ojulari.
Right.
That's not what happened last year.
No.
It's not what happened the year before either. Jalen Walker would just come on the field.
Yep.
The last year, it was like, all right, you're in 12. Okay, here comes Chris Cole. We're just going to play 3 backers.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting to see how football has changed from a personnel standpoint. Those are conversations that this place has been built on and will continue to be about. Appreciate you guys for being here. I got a lot of film studies coming up this week. The board is loaded down. Hey, Jonathan, look at all that. A lot of check marks. That means your boys already grinded the tape on those. Got a lot of work this week. Hope you enjoy it. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Love you. Bye.